rivalry was throughout the year. And this is what happened when we saw the grand final in North America. Everybody was leaning a little bit more towards Envy, but TSM, they were able to secure a 3-2-1, and they're very confident that they can do it again.
I mean, people leaning towards Envy going into this made a lot of sense too. We got to see a dominance throughout the entire year by them, whereas TSM, we got to see a lot of those ups and downs where we got to see them switch up roster, everything else. So a lot of questions on, can this really gel in time? But be able to see the pickups and the changes that they've made to be able to claim the top spot coming out of NA, it has been so impressive.
And I think TSM answered that question beautifully, Sierra. I think they can. They've peaked at the perfect time. The form that they've reached right now is kind of their, I don't want to even say their final form, because it does feel like they're getting better with every single match, but they have most certainly found a flow, guys. TSM is looking very dangerous, and even in the last match versus Envy, you can tell that, and first map aside, yeah, Envy won that 13-7, but after that, it was a pretty clean 3-0 for TSM to finish off the series 3-1. I feel like, with TSM struggling to find their form, I feel like now that, they have found this sort of style, they have sort of found their identity, they're going to be coming into this tournament with so much confidence, and the way they're feeling right now is going to carry over into this match, into this rematch versus Envy.
And a confidence that I already get to see is there, and I love that
What
you're
up?
talking about like that final form and everything else.
What up? What up?
That these were changes going into stage 3, for it to all be coming together as it is. I mean, Dan, the pickups, we had talked so much about how strong they've been throughout the year, and coupled with that core of TSM, I mean...
How the EMEA teams? Honestly, I have not watched EMEA. I think EMEA is like the least interesting region for me to watch right now.
See what they deliver today.
I have limited hours, so I've been watching Pacific. I watched China because it was the only one on. Now I'm watching a bit of Americas. I don't have time to watch the EMEA matches yet. I'll probably watch the playoffs once it gets there.
And they're proving why that core of 7 in GMD has been incredible so far in the match that we got to see from them. But on top of that, here, like you're saying, everybody else, the new additions, and especially Timotino, has been insane.
And I think the crazy thing with this roster too, guys, is the fact that it is still a very young roster, like relatively speaking, right? Like GMD being the oldest, I think he's like, what, 24 years old? Like, we say veterancy, but then you look at, their age, they're like 20, 21, 24 with almost, I mean, GMD almost has a decade of FPS experience. I mean, this guy is literally a veteran, but he's still so young, and he's the oldest on the team. So this team is young. They're able to match Envy in that regard. But I feel like, the core of GMD and 7, I feel like their leadership, their experience, it has carried over to a lot.
There's just not enough hours in the day to watch all the Valorant. Plus, I'm going to be honest, some of these tier 2 teams, we're never going to qualify for tier 1. And so it's not really even worth watching them unless I'm scouting a specific player or something like that. Might as well just tune in when it's like the top 4 teams, which are the teams that have an actual chance to make it, and then also probably have the best players.
Absolutely. Compared to the beginning of this year and even last
I'm going to go for TSM, but I'm going for TSM because of NBS. I haven't watched either of these teams enough to know who actually has the edge.
Not only he is incredible mechanically in this initiator role especially, but with the calls, you can tell how the team was able to organize themselves a little bit more since he joined. You see it in, the advantages that they have with the ultimates, how they're going to utilize them. You're going to see them in those bonus runs, in those eco rounds, the way that they're wanting to push to create that space, and also the way that Bora is not only making those calls to get aggressive and take control of those rounds, but also closing them out with the kills. He is really doing it all.
He's doing a lot, but not quite all, because we have to talk about the other members of TSM too that have really just had the most of a...
So I'll say TSM 2-1.
We've always known him to be a great player, like, do not get me wrong, but when you're talking about TSM that is just looking so strong, 7 is just on a different level right now.
Yeah, 6-7, I mean, he's an absolute monster in the server. I mean, he's a total menace. He's running the Odin, he's running the Judge, he's opping, he's playing Battle Sage, he's literally playing almost every single thing that you would want from this flex player, right? He's putting up insane numbers. He's doing just so much for this roster, and I feel like, again, his veterancy, his experience, and the fact that it feels like he's covering so many different roles and so many different kind of positions on the team is just such a valuable tool to this team.
He always understands how to maximize either the agent that he's playing or even the weapon that he's playing. He was so annoying with the Odin.
Yeah, I mean, Naus was looking really good. Now it's hard to say.
Is very specific and just
I'm gonna be honest, I don't really think DRG is that good. like they're fine. I think DRG is like a middle to average tier 1 team.
they were playing against every single round. Seven was standing up, was screaming, was
They have
fighting,
potential to be
was
pretty
fighting,
good, but
his teammates
they're
out.
just kind of a weird team. They're very inconsistent.
Really get the chance to see it when we're watching America.
Um,
Everybody's in the rooms. They're
I
not
think
playing
Nous has looked good.
with each other.
I mean, Velocity, Loki has looked really good.
And that adds
I think Nongshim is probably still the best.
you know the crowd is against you when a lot of things are against you and you know that the
Probably Nongshim is still probably the best team that's in tier 2 at the moment. But I haven't watched America's enough to know. Maybe it's Envy or TSM.
Talked about the players, but I want to hear from the players, and we have a little bit of clips from Timotino and his thoughts ahead of today.
How's the new patching? Or how's the new patch looking? I don't know, honestly. It'll be interesting to see what it feels like to actually play games on it.
Demolish a team. It's really easy for us to like convert map 3, even if we lose map 2. Map 2 was really hard because like for most of us it's the first time that we play on a stage as like that big. So it's like the nerves kind of got in the way. So it was pretty hard, like losing some rounds. It was hard on the mental, but we came back, and then after map 3 we completely resetted. We went back to map 1 and we just rolled.
I mean, we'll have to see if they can carry that. Can carry that into today's series, be able to get that momentum going and be able to close out, especially to looking on the opposing end of things. Another team that can be taking over the server and can be really reliant on that momentum. Of course, we have to talk about Envy and really be talking about this rivalry going into today.
All these are NA ranked players, but we rarely see ranked players in APAC. I don't know if that's true or not. I mean, like, a lot of the Talon players are ranked players. A lot of the DRX players were ranked players. Like, you see most of these guys at the top of the leaderboard. Paper X is still like rank grinders.
The year to the absolute powerhouse that everyone expected to make the full-on Ascensions run all the way to the finish line, right? Like, it's kind of crazy. Also,
Cypher feels bad. Yeah, it's not surprising.
Most of this roster is, but the level of consistency that they show, even in big moments, is crazy. And Sierra, you say this team is very momentum-based, but I think recently with their kind of, their growth, they've shown that they're able to, claw back from, being down and huge deficits. They're not just a momentum team. I feel like they're becoming a lot more well-rounded. They're becoming, they're growing as players. They're growing with experience. And I feel like with every single match, with every single tournament, this team just gets more and more dangerous, especially as they round out.
Am I going to be the coach of G during a Spotlight series? No.
And everyone's kind of operating on the same wavelength.
Yeah, which is crazy to think about when you think about rankers at the end of last year, and how honestly for a lot of people they were a little bit of a joke because of the compositions that they were playing, how this team came out of nowhere, and little by little they gained.
It's so crazy to me that Poppin is like potentially going to be in tier 1.
Latin America, everybody's looking up to these
Like the Poppin swing was such a meme.
They are incredibly talented, and that means
But now he's
not only is everybody gonna be keeping their eyes on MB,
IGLing one of the best teams in tier 2. It's wild.
Which it feels like that would be that next step and that last thing that they would need to maybe lift that trophy at the end.
When you're talking about this being a young team, I mean, Kane, Zera, and Ion are two of the youngest players within North America, and they have been absolutely popping off. And I'd love to see the growth.
Fade might be the most picked agent. Yeah, I mean, I think Fade's probably better than Sova now. For sure.
And a lot of that has fallen on Inspire from the get-go. When this was rankers, when this was a team that was kind of coming out of nowhere, Inspire took a lot of that on himself. Right, he's not the IGL, but
I know nothing about the off-season events, so yeah. I know nothing about off-season. I know nothing about 2026. I know nothing in general.
That is just crazy to think about, honestly. I feel like he is, I completely agree here. I feel like he is a very big factor on this team. His experience, his mid-rounding has created so much more like dynamicism to the way they're playing the mid-rounds and how they're playing out scenarios. And
What do we got for tomorrow's Pacific Ascension matches?
To the defensive sides, he's pretty much.
I don't really know if either of them really matter that much. I mean, I guess the Nongshim one matters. Like, they matter for seeding for sure, so they definitely do matter to some extent. I would probably pick. I mean, the Riddle order match, like, who cares? Both these teams are eliminated, so I don't know. Probably full sense, I guess, but who knows. For Nongshim versus Velocity, I think I'm probably going to go with Nongshim, but I think it's going to be close.
At some point, so being able to really just
I think it's going to be relatively close.
Has been really nice, and being able to see that impact he's had in the server, being able to see this year is kind of like a big bounce back for Inspire has been really, really nice. But talked about a leader, got to talk about the other leader, the IGL of the team, and talk about Poppin as well. Because again, when you're talking about a team here, Dan, that has so much of their own identity, I feel like that's so interesting then for Poppin to really be able to make sure that they stick to that identity, but it still be able to lead them to victory.
There's a balance as well that he's been able to find as the IGL of, yeah, my team.
Did I watch EMEA games? No.
They like to get crazy and
no, I don't have time to watch all of the games. I just look at the scores. I'll watch the playoffs of EMEA.
Beginning of those rounds, and that turns out.
But right now,
for a team that even if they
too much Valorant to watch.
Even if they haven't changed much, as the meta has moved towards other things, you need to rely on.
I'm pretty surprised that mandatory won though.
On top of that, understanding that
it's rough for Focus. Focus is out.
Nervous, being excited, dealing with those emotions of a grand final, for example, dealing with the emotions of playing on stage are things that you need to consider.
Also, Enterprise going out is kind of crazy.
Yeah, sometimes we lost.
I didn't realize that these were actually elimination games. Whoops. Damn. Okay, so Enterprise is out. Mandatory beats Focus.
And it's been really
That's kind of nuts.
The growth of this team. Well, they've been learning to not just be these people running it down into where they are now, right? And talking about the growth, then we did get an opportunity to hear from one of the players Ion a little bit up ahead of today's match.
If Dambion Neon 100%, where do I predict Damar to be? I mean, Damar's going to play Neon. Like, we know Damar's going to play Neon.
Like, we knew when they picked Lotus, they expected us to have our first, like, our old comp, which was an ISO instead of a Raze. So I think when we had a Raze instead of a ISO...
Nah, they can't just copy the chamber teleport. It would be too broken.
And then we expected to win that map, like, pretty dominantly. But then map 2, I think that map was a lot closer than expected. I would say Sunset was our pick, and so our best map. So them getting 11 rounds, and we actually had to make a comeback. I think it was a lot harder than expected. And
why most players, the tier 2 players, fails to reach their respective region league? Because there's not very many spots.
Identity and everything else, Roy,
I it's pretty straightforward.
Switching up those little things, make sure they can't get started again.
It's just, it's hard. It's hard to be one of the top 12 teams in the world.
And this team that are the ones who are just constantly willing to flip things up, and it's just because they have such dynamic players, right? And I feel like this level of unpredictability, and even when they're not switching their compositions, they're still switching up the way they play, right? Like they're switching up how Inspire's playing, they're switching up where their aggression's happening, the timing on things. Like they're a very dynamic team, and I feel like, whenever teams call them puggy, I feel like they're almost missing the point when they're watching these Envy VODs, because there is a process to the madness. There is logic to the way that they play. It's a little bit different than what you would expect from other teams, but it's very apparent whenever you do a deep dive to the way they play.
It's a little bit of what happened to 9C, for example. We heard one of those early interviews where they talked about how the strategy or the macro or in general the gameplay was not that good for Envy. It was just that they were individually very good. And once we listened to that, we were like, you have no idea. You haven't played Envy yet, have you?
They do
and
not
immediately
know.
Yeah, Envy was very, very dominant in that series. And that is something that happens to a lot of teams that don't know Envy. They haven't played against them. They haven't scrimed against them, played these official matches. But for TSM, they know how Envy plays and they've won against them before. So that's why we know that it's going to be a great matchup.
No, they don't need to buff any of the initiators. Cypher, I don't know. I haven't played any Cypher. I kind of hate Cypher as an agent, so I don't really mind that Cypher sucks, and I kind of hope that he stays bad.
Capability of taking over the server. Timotino is someone that Dan already talked about a little bit, and Eggster too. When you look at that unique identity that Envy,
I think Cypher might be my least favorite agent in the game, actually. I like basically everything in this game, but I think Cypher's probably my least favorite agent.
Ascension, only for that one matchup that he played against Stella, but okay, you want a little bit more information, a little bit more of his consistency. You look at the stats for what was playoffs in North America, and he was still the best rated player over any of the envy players,
Sheesh.
over any of the Winthrop University players. And it seems like he is just so incredible, but you just don't hear from him as much. He's not, trying to ego you. He's not trying to post on social media that much how good he is, but he is just very quietly being the difference maker of this team, and it is incredible. For the other side, obviously, Exeter is also very, very good in everything that he's been doing with the Yoru. I mean, last series, he was insane, Roy. Every
Hmm.
clutch, every single situation where Exeter was in, he was winning it somehow.
No, bro's been an absolute menace on the Yoru. He's like abusing every possible mechanic in the game with Yoru. And guys, I do want to reiterate that Yoru is a little bit stronger on lane. I know not many people think about that, but it kind of explains the extra, like his stats, or maybe he's just maybe he's just a LAN player. I don't know. But Yoru on LAN is really strong, right?
It is so crazy to me that Eggster is on a pro team also that could potentially be in tier 1.
He gets a little bit stronger on the power curve in that kind of environment, and then you add in
What a weird timeline for North American Valorant.
It kind of makes sense why Exeter, it looks like he's kind of the carry right now for the envy side. So I think this head-to-head between Timotino, Exeter is going to be quite fun to watch, guys.
Oh, it is going to be a great one. It's been so much fun watching both of these individual teams play, and now coming to a head-to-head today to qualify into the playoffs of Ascension. You could not ask for a better storyline there. And with a rivalry where they've had multiple run-ins, this one is quite interesting getting into our official predictions on the day. I think going into this, it was really difficult for me, guys, because I love what TSM has changed up. I love what they're looking at right now, but I still had to go with Envy here. Roy, I'm not surprised to see you with the TSM pickup.
Oh yeah, why is that, Sierra?
You just love TSM. I've heard you talk about them. I've heard everything you've said. I mean, I know.
Which region is better in Ascension tier 2?
Listen, I just believe in the newfound powers. Okay, I feel like whenever people get themselves in form, right, and the perfect time, it brings a lot of confidence, right? A lot of the uncertainty.
The peak of Ascension is probably the best team. The best team is probably going to come out of Americas, but I think overall we're going to end up with Pacific being the strongest total. Maybe it's Americas, but I think it's probably top to bottom Pacific. But also, I just haven't really watched very much of EMEA, so I don't really know how good the teams are.
When I was hosting and we had Roy and Ash on the desk, we were getting every prediction wrong. Like, I'm not gonna lie, don't even believe whatever we're saying. We could be right, but most likely we could be wrong. This one has been a difficult one to predict this event. But also the other thing that I wanted to say is, you know what? I'm gonna be honest, recency bias. TSM won the grand final. Yeah, they should win it again.
Oh, goodness. Okay, so I'm doubly glad that I predicted the other way of you two right now. I will say that. It was a difficult one to predict between these two because, again, I think the growth that TSM had has just been absolutely incredible. But I feel like I look back at that Stage 3 finals and I look at Envy and it just seemed a smidge off. And when we talk about Envy having a lot of growth throughout this years, I feel like it has been growth that has been on the back of some losses.
What changes do I think Jet needs to be at the same level as Yoru, Wele, and Neon?
And you get to see them come out with a different mentality in Stage 2.
It's tough. I don't even really know what Jet's like purpose is in the game at the moment. Because there's better dash agents, there's better op agents, there's better entry agents. All of the agents that are better than Jet in those roles have better team play. I don't know. I kind of don't really know what Jet's purpose is in the game at the moment.
Never recovered from those early losses, right? Like if they go down 0-5 in a map, it felt like that map was kind of just a throwaway. Like they didn't know how to bounce back whenever they were in huge deficits. But the recent history shows otherwise.
Maybe if they like increase the duration of her smokes again.
Things aren't going well. If they're not getting the pistol, they're not starting off hot. They're able to bounce
maybe
back,
something like that.
These sort of answers and problem solve.
But yeah, it's tough because like you can't touch the dash. I feel like
happened in the last series where for that map of Sunset, their map pick, that first and second half, both of them started 0 and 4.
I think if you touch the dash, you have a problem. So yeah, it's hard. Maybe like honestly, like maybe reduce her knife, her ultimate cost.
And looking at, I mean,
What is her ultimate? Is her ultimate 8 or is it 7? I don't remember.
Everything else, I feel
If
like
it's 8, bring it down to 7. If it's 7, I mean, God, jet knives on 6 is probably too good. But she needs help for sure.
Young players that will just take these Eagle Peaks and just have fun, right? And just how much confidence.
Honestly, give her 6.
Especially in an in-person.
Give her
So
6.
I think it's going to be quite an interesting one. I think that we are in for a great match regardless. But man, this is, again, the top 2 teams we've had in North America. 2 teams that have.
Yeah, I mean, she just doesn't really have a purpose, like, in a team comp. There's, like, really no reason to ever have a jet.
Right away come to life.
Other than just, like, player comfort.
Mental games between these 2 teams, right? That's what happens in regional matches, guys. That familiarity, especially with how recent the grand finals was. I feel like, yeah, you know.
Wow, Blazestorm is 8 points? Yeah, make that 7.
And there's also not a ton of footage from this tournament itself, too, right?
NBS.
So some kind of mental battle, or maybe a lot of, you know, some other game plan.
NBS.
Like
Looking good.
add another dynamic to the calling.
Let's go.
That's going to elevate the level of play that we're going to be seeing when it comes to strategy, not just shooting, not just micro, but also the way they're approaching the map and how things are flowing.
And it's 2 teams that were very much so looking forward to playing up against each other as well. And Dan, when you had talked to Eggster about all these different teams and everything that they've brought to Ascension, who you want to play against, it was, I want to play against TSM. We're going to 2-0 them with confidence, right? And TSM on the opposing end, of course, when it's a team that was maybe a little bit discounted before, to really be able to prove that wasn't a fluke, but they are just that best team in North America, Dan. I think there's so much to be said there.
And they might just be the best teams that we have in Ascension as well. It's for a reason that they both want to play each other so bad, is because they know how good each other are, and they know that a match where you're facing TSM and you're facing Envy and you're going against each other is going to be the greatest challenge that you can have before you get to that grand final.
This camera angle's so awkward, bro.
Are putting in the grand finals right now, and
damn, long ass huddle from NBS. Long ass huddle.
and how they continue to
holy shit.
match after match.
And with that expectation being there for these teams as well, these being those potential final teams, I feel like this matchup is going to be even more important. It's going to be a testament to the work they've put in going into Ascension,
Definitely.
what they can do on the stage, and of course with the
They're doing the Ascend
what they can do.
1, 2, 3 team.
Hey guys, I just want to see like the hero plays, the big clutch moments. I want to see these players get super hype off rip. Like I want to see some momentum, some energy, some vibes going as soon as possible. I feel like the sooner we get that for both teams, the better Valorant that we're going to be seeing here as one of these teams fights for that first spot in playoffs.
For one of these official VCT events that we have, this is the first time that TSM and Envy play against each other on stage. So
let's go. I'm excited. I'm excited.
We're gonna be standing up every single round. I have no doubt in my mind.
Oh, I'm so excited for it already. And I think what's really interesting, these 2 teams coming from the same region, is this isn't an unknown quantity. We already kind of
I definitely don't think Clove needs to be adjusted at all.
See a very recent face-off. So I'm curious then with map expands and everything else, how much this influences going into today's series. Getting into it right away, it's going to be TSM
Haven, Sunset, Abyss. Okay.
These 2 teams faced off. It's Haven to kick things off.
It's really interesting. I was really curious to see where these maps are gonna go because of what you're saying, the recent grand final as well.
HSB is going to 100 Thieves.
Series here in Ascension. And Haven,
NBS, you mean?
TSM had already played it for the opening against Stella, and they completely dominated. That was
NBS, the TSM coach? Is that who you're talking about?
They were insane good calls coming from Bora, and on top of that, you had really
So NBS is rumored to be going to 100 Thieves.
Every single time that
We don't know for sure.
that spy got planted in C, the retake was effective. And on the other side, you had Seven and Bora, and also in Timotino playing towards A side. So it was just a map that is giving me a lot of confidence for them, even if MV is picking it. Because my last point here is that both of these teams, they've lost their map picks in their opening matches.
Yeah, that is really interesting. But to kind of just throw back to their last match right in grand finals, right? TSN Haven was the map that they won first. and Sunset was the only map that Envy had won in that series. So I think it makes sense why they would pick it. They're confident in their win conditions, but I feel like the adaptations have come, right? There, you know, there's going to be learning that happened from that match. There's going to be a different level of Valorant that we're going to be seeing. Obviously, TSM's looked fantastic on Haven, like Dan was saying. But I think for me, I'm eyeing out that Abyss, because if we get there, it's going to be really interesting, right? We've seen TSM play this match, that map before. They're 4-0 in officials on that map, not in VCL, but just in, you know, in third-party tournaments. They do have experience on that map, but they haven't really seen it too much for Envy. So I'm kind of curious to see
What's up, Headed?
Abyss side if it comes to it.
Especially too looking back at Abyss.
My prediction: TSM 2-1.
TSM, it kind of just dates quite a bit back, which I think makes it even more interesting when you are looking at a TSM now that have those 2 new additions, have just been changing things up. But now getting into the agent select, I mean, Roy, you're already laughing. I'm seeing a couple hovers here.
Yeah, no, I do not believe they're locking that. We're getting debated on stage.
You're saying Kainzer is not going to play the Harbor?
Is he throwing it back to the one match against SRG? Is he throwing it back? I'm not sure. It would be really funny if he did. I would laugh. I would have a good time if I saw the Harbor on Haven, but I do not believe we're going to be seeing the lock in here for the Harbor side. But yeah, I think, I mean, TSM is kind of exactly what we expected, guys. I do want to kind of touch on a little bit of the win conditions that TSM had versus the Stellai Gaming, right? Where they front-loaded their defensive side with so much A control. They did not want the attacking team to feel like they could get that A control early. Yeah. And as soon as they had that pressure on that A side of the map on their defensive side, that's when it felt like TSM had gone.
You think it's 2-1 Envy? Yeah, I think most people are probably on your side. I'm just rooting for TSM because MBS is my boy.
TSM to get comfortable with their win conditions, and you most certainly do not want Timo Tino in your face deep in that A lobby.
And if it was not that A control that you saw for the defense of TSM, you saw how GMD was constantly on the flank, constantly being so annoying against Stellai Gaming. But for Envy, I don't think that's going to happen, especially because Inspire's in the lobby, and if there's a guy that's going to be flanking, if there's a guy that's going to be behind the enemy, it's going to be him. And that's why this should be an incredible map. I feel like it's the best map that we can have to start it off.
Not just an incredible map, but incredible matchup. The top 2 teams that we have in North America, potentially all of Ascension, and a rivalry that's been brewing. It's time to head into the very first map of the series to see who's going to get that first spot.
All right, here we go. Here we go.
It's Vansili and Lemon Kiwi.
Thank you, Sierra. Yeah, strong cores and friendships that go beyond the game. I think that's another element that we haven't mentioned that has made both of these teams top dogs in North America. And Envy have dominated for so long. I'm going to stick by my prediction, Vance, but TSM are here to continue to cement that they are the kings of the region.
I agree, and it also makes sense that a lot of people are going to be going for Envy in this matchup today because they have always been dominant in their region. You're looking at the group stages of all these stages, they've always 2-0'd everybody or just unstoppable within the Swiss stages, even when they were the rankers. But once we got into stage 3, that's where we saw a little bit of...
Nice, we get to see Kainzer ISO. I'm excited for this. I think that Envy probably wins this map, but we'll see.
That's why they won the grand finals in the stage 3 of North America and are hoping to repeat it now.
Haven's such an interesting map with TSM looking so good on it. That 13-3 against Stella, the same pick against Envy from that grand final.
Dude, his timing is just ridiculous, bro. Like, it's so aggressive.
Now finally entering B, watching from
this is a nice pistol.
Having to make contact with guys so shield, not great. There's some good tags though. Injury.
This is honestly one of those rounds that I feel like only Envy can get away with, because you have to respect the Kainzer push so much that you have to bite. Like, it's very unlikely that it's a fake, which sets them up for a good fake. Okay, losable. One body shot. This is definitely winnable. Oh, close. Nice. Thoughts on Ion? I know basically nothing about him. I've seen him play a few times. He's got good mechanics. I don't know anything else about him.
Both of these teams played the same compositions and going head-to-head in the past on this game. They utilized Kainzer as this fake on this ace.
That's why I'm watching, because I want to learn about these players.
While the other ones goes for a 4-0 hit into the B site. And then Kaney's even able to go for this late lurk over on the A link as well. Again, rendering things very difficult for TSM to, one, hold the B site with lesser numbers, and two, to retake. So a great start. But already a Marshall comes out in the second round, and TSM's trying to go for a stack on the C site. So this is something that we're going to have to try to identify as well for Envy going up against TSM. One of the strong points that they had in the victory of that 13-2, I think, versus...
I mean, I assistant coached NBS. I was NBS's assistant at Ascend in 2024 for stage 2. So I know him personally. No pin comment yet. Maybe soon, but not yet. Okay. Good damage. Really good damage.
Another 1v1 to decide a round. It doesn't get any tighter than this, folks, but one is a sheriff, one is a guardian.
Okay, this is a big round for TSM. Regardless of whether they win it or not, tons of damage.
The smoke kind of gives the question mark that GMD just threw and that Inspire could play around, but the spike was still in possession now of GMD. He decides to let this go and let the time go in his favor, but that allows now Inspire to pick up a weapon, pick up a spike, and reposition himself in a 1v1 in the post plant.
Gonna reveal them and kind of happen
the timing is a little crazy here.
GMD gonna wait for Envy to make the move.
Oh my goodness.
I don't know if that risk is gonna pay off.
Nicely done.
GMD finds the perfect moment.
Okay, big round for TSM. Instantly breaks the momentum, breaks the economy.
So they didn't even want to play any type of like let's go for exits or whatnot, and they wanted to beat Envy to the punch. So as soon as nothing was really happening here towards the C site, the instant rotate came through. And now you've already seen this lurk coming out from Inspire. Another layer that TSM's already ready for because they kind of put Bora up against them. But look at the psych smoke being thrown by the sewers. The flood came through already from TSM, and Envy had nothing.
Big round from 7. He got 2 there with the classic.
Eco, thrifty that they just want to hear against Envy. And Envy on their side now are going to go for some sort of a half buy because of this plant that they had. So a Hero Guardian onto Inspire. He's going to try to lurk towards that garage site to find information for the team. And we're just trying to pick and prod and figure out where TSM's currently setting up at the beginning of this round.
I think Alvin Boy was a huge reason TSM were able to keep fighting and contest that space before Envy were able to get too comfortable. Now at long range, all noise has been cut. Inspire to be the tip of the spear.
Nice timing from Timotino.
Elsewhere, and Envy just hoping to close the gap, and you can see TSM poking fraud with an Odin and a rifle. And all
big flash.
And it's over in the blink of an eye.
We had a POV of one player, then everybody just dying around him. But that just shows how chaotic this game is going to be, and how that setup was so nice. You have this camera watching into the garage just to.
All right, this is the big round, because if TSM can win this round, they're gonna have an insane defensive half. They lose this, then Envy can definitely take back over the game. How can Inspire play in such a ridiculous res? I didn't even notice. How is he playing? What's his res? I didn't see.
So a great little cleanup in the end for TSM, and they're holding a strong lead now in this 4th round, where finally the weapons are coming out, and Envy are just going to decide to go for a full A side hit at the very beginning.
And 7 and GMD want to make sure this will be the last time they go to Ascension. They want to leave it behind them this time, and it's Envy. They're going to continue to hit this A site. They strike right at GMD, who was on the high ground. Good awareness. It's just completely evicting TSM.
Well,
we're hoping to tango against them. And
these observers are a little troll. They're not really showing us a ton of the good action, but it's like Envy kind of just scaled up with the Sova ult. Kane 0 won a couple duels.
Not going to be ideal with the crossfire that Envy has set up. I like the preemptive dash there, but Timotino.
Did we start training for the November event? You talking about Spotlight? No.
Envy should definitely try to respect this a little more, and now make sure that Timotino's the one to make a move.
Ooh. Nice flash in the end as soon as.
Okay, nice round from Envy.
Kane 0 is the one that's
keeping it simple. Contact A, go A,
going on these entries. Roy was mentioning Exeter, one of those players that utilizes the Euro kit to its full advantage in different ways. We saw 7, he's trying to clear towards that back of the site with the Odin, and he's just staring at this clone, thinking that it was going to be some sort of a fake clone potentially, and then Exeter just runs behind us. You saw here in the replay to get that pick, but it almost made it possible there. We almost
That was a little silly from 7. It's just
1 versus 3.
I mean, he was expecting the teleport.
Even more, even if they wanted a 1 versus 1 for Envy, because they didn't have too much to work with. That said, are going back into a C site, clear at the very beginning just to try to pick up some orbs, get it closer to the dimensional drift. Kane Zera has also his kill contract to work with. And as you can see here, we're just playing a couple of inserts. There's a TP still available for Exeter for them potentially create some sort of harassment towards the C site. And it's potentially...
Okay, a re-clear. Very passive. They're expecting maybe a Blade Storm play or something here. Wow, okay, so you're just going to go for it.
I was wondering if he's going to use this kill contract blindly, and you don't have enough rounds to really see that trend, but Kane Zera starts off with ink.
At least show us the duel, man. What are these observers doing? That's a great flash through from Eggster. Okay, we're out. Oh, Jesus. Okay. What a hero play from Timotino.
Not going for overextensions on the rotates like they did on the Thrifty.
Yeah, observers are not doing a great job right now.
You got to take your time. You got to see where the action's going to be first. And even if you
yeah, I don't really know exactly. I mean, Envy won most of their games this year, but they lost a couple of times.
Just like this. So a 2v2 over on the A side. The rest of the action's happening towards C.
It's a good push from GMD.
Excellent job right over here.
Ooh, they're planting backside. Ah, okay.
Over on the A site. And unfortunately, they were met up by the blades of Timotino again. TSM are back in the lead, and this is going to be a game that's going to go back and forth on Kiwi. A fun one to spectate if you're a Valorant fan for North America.
Wow, GMD.
Big round from GMD. Holy moly. They're just meeting them where they are and brawling with them. We're also seeing a pretty consistent pattern, at least already so far, of like using Kane as bait. They like to use Kane as bait and then go to the other side of the map.
Don't underestimate what they can do with sheriffs, and TSM don't want to feed Envy on any unnecessary kills either.
Yeah, because this would kind of be a repeat of a 5 versus 1 against Rup Koide earlier on in this tournament, or sorry, against Citizorge over on Stella. But now they're just going to anchor it up, making sure that they're covering that spike. And that Inspire has no weapons that he could pick up. As he'll walk through, you'll have the first point of contact being Timotino, and 7 is swing right after with the Odin. And this is one of those areas right now that's always well defended by the side of TSM when they were playing this map as well. Especially when it comes down to the Odin that you have from 7 and Vora playing as this Sova. The way that they retake towards that C site is focused a lot on that garage, and they do such a great job clearing that as a group. So it's a very tough stronghold for them to try to enter, and you can already see here when it doesn't even have to go for a re-clear towards that side. They're anchoring perfectly for the side of TSM. And another one of those positive things from TSM is that it really looks like they came with a lot of preparations versus a team that they're playing against, because they're always at the right spots at the beginning of these rounds when they're playing the defensive sides in the series against Delay.
See the Envy start to fall like dominoes as soon as there's one misstep, the awkward jump, and if it wasn't for the ISO shield, that could have almost been a 4K, but nonetheless, Envy try to work their way. But look at this again, GMD finds those lapses in map control, and Envy just pay the price. Yet again, TSM at a big early round advantage.
We've talked about it.
I mean, TSM just taking the fight to them right now. Prez for this matchup, I said TSM's going to win. I said 2-1. I'm going to stick with that Pred.
He could make a play right here.
Knows there's more trouble around the corner. Good attempt at the flash to be a self-sufficient.
Dude, Timotino's a beast. This kid is super aggro.
I'm gonna buy whatever that was.
That is what we want to see, though. Disrespect your opponents, and also not being.
That was like a something play.
Either. Again, Timotino in his interview that we just heard.
That was like something in 2023 status.
Going into on our first match internationally on this stage, the Brazilian crowd was super loud. You know that today it's not going to be as loud because it's just 2 North American teams, so there's not going to be too much support anyways, except for maybe like the 3 TSM fans that we saw earlier on in that first row.
Wow.
But that's the thing. You see how confident Timotino is currently playing right now. Doesn't need to fall back. Doesn't need to wait for his
Yeah.
Just go and do some damage. Do some
Timotino looks good, man.
Still have another player anchored inside the site, and the other ones are already rotating. So don't give him that space to retreat or to fight.
Good moment for a timeout for Envy because it's been obviously a difficult journey, and as soon as you slip up once, it feels like all of TSM collapse on you, and to find what is going to be the kryptonite to someone like Timotino, who looks like he's on trend to drop another 30 bomb like he did in that very first match. And they say they had jitters, but TSM still looked just that incredible in that first match, and to bring that consistency against another team that they're so familiar with, one that they can definitely know and can attest to how strong Envy is, and to still go in with that much confidence, like, I don't know, TSM, they just want it that bad.
Yeah. And also, like, the small things, again, if you want to think about that piss around where you threw that wall, you popped that double tap for Kane Zera, what immediately happened there, Vora went for a shock dart to go right behind the wall and instantly broke the shield. So the small little things, as we were mentioning, is the more you're seeing...
Kane is a notorious ISO merchant. Damn, man. They're just shutting down everything Envy's trying to do. I mean, Kane Zera is definitely not an ISO merchant. He's just like a crazy player, and ISO kind of enables playing like that.
I mean, Envy, I didn't have a great buy, but I like that they wwere trying to adapt to GMD playing in that A sewers area. They pulled TSM to the right side of the map, got a plan going.
Ooh,
so
gotta hit those shots.
Agent managing to pick up a stinger too. It'll be a brawl in the courtyard, but Inspire is outnumbered and kind of goes back to the sheriff. So
Yeah, I mean, TSM's looking good right now. Every time Envy goes for initial play, I feel like TSM's starting off with 2 kills.
It hasn't changed from their first time that they met or that they played on the stage against Delay. So now, if there was a timeout that happened there into this half buy for Envy to just try to get the plant down, that round with the weapons that they're going to bring right now is to try to identify those moments. They have been finding some success to get these plants towards that C site, but there's going to be a lot of responsibility on to Inspire so that he could get the most perfect lurk to really stop that double push and rotate from 7 and Vora from the front B side into the garage.
Just a little bit worried when everyone's talked about.
All right, huge amount of ults and one-off ults for Envy.
Type of comments that we're hearing, and Envy are losing those duels.
This should be around for Envy, but we do have Breach ult, Sova ult for TSM, so TSM's going to be expecting some sort of ult play. Maybe they put one of the sites on retake. It looks like maybe C's on retake for now. Looks like they're just going to play a 1-3-1, flood to either site, fight with the Breach ult.
We've seen it all play once so far, and TSM and Envy both look the teams.
Oh, the timing from Kane Zera is crazy there.
We've been waiting for this hero to show up.
Just gonna go ahead and throw out the duel. That's actually kind of sick that you get the ping. The fact that you get the ping in the ISO ult is crazy. I didn't realize that's how that worked.
It's been relatively quiet,
but that's kind of a sick combo, actually.
These rounds and also on grass, so they were hoping to get some sort of an advantage to push down and really start taking over that space for the fast rotates on that side. But look at these picks. Kane Zera catching GMD with his pants down, but the trade couldn't really come through from the Odin, and that just opened everything up. You already had the ult coming through, so it was
that was kind of a rough play from GMD, getting caught out like that.
And one of the big ults to really take the site now for Envy, but thankfully they still
Which region's tier 2 is the best? I mean, it's probably Americas or Pacific.
Ions is from the shadows as they're trying to plow towards the C site once again.
Trying to see if they can exploit this. It's just so chaotic though, and Envy, this is where they thrive. And this time they're ready to focus down that right side, but then
Dude, what even happened in this round?
From TSM, and still Envy failed to break through into C.
that's what's missing a bit here when you're trying to get a little bit more behind that site. I mean, Spars alone again.
Seriously, what happened in this round? Everybody was just dead in 2 seconds.
But you saw that they kind of just stopped when they really got the entry into the C site for the side of Envy. And they didn't want to really break util towards that back. There was no pop flash or plays to really try to fight towards that back end, and they kind of walked into the operator from Team Latino first, and that's what started de-escalating on their side for the hit. Look, after this first pick, the aftershock comes out from the garage, so they flood everybody out. Everybody's
And
in
just
great position.
fought through the smoke. Okay.
Continues to play around his cages, around the GMD smoke. And that's been a brutal point.
I love how much Odin they're using.
Their opponents to try to take over
I've always thought that the Odin is like pretty underrated on this map. I think it's pretty damn strong on Haven. Ooh, Alvin Boy with the anchor gets 2. Holy shit, Alvin Boy gets 3. They're getting absolutely cooked. They're getting absolutely cooked right now.
About how dynamic they are, but they're just hitting a brick wall.
And this is what I'm loving. The new Vibe Merchant that comes out of 7. I mean, if you remember TSM or even 7 himself, I think if I'm not mistaken, he was even brought up at some point to play in some sort of LCQ or something like that with even Hiko back in the day when he was just like a rookie looking to get signed. And Hiko was mentioning how
they are popping off.
Has been when he joined. Like, they picked up the most quietest person, the quietest kid to play for the team. But look how loud he is right now. The years that he's been playing, as Ades has mentioned, even though so young, brings a lot of veterancy in terms of hype and vibes to motivate TSM to take this lead on an 8-3 scoreline.
Don't even need the outlaw, the knives.
Dude, Envy is getting kind of bullied right now. Give him the ace. Give him the ace. No, he whiffed the knives. He whiffed the knives. Come on, Timotino. Oh, it's the easiest kill. Out of all 5, that was the easiest kill.
And it's 9-3. Just feels like annihilation. When it came down to a lot of 1v1s to decide rounds at the beginning of this half, it ends in TSM getting a lot of flawless.
Yeah, and that's just Timotino again at the point. Dude, I don't understand how he's so confident for the first time playing on an international stage like this. Like, not only from these hits, but like how he's just pushing forward and doesn't care. The flash forward, he just wants to give his life away. But he doesn't need to because he's just killing everybody at the same time. Now, outside of that aggression coming out...
Velocity versus Nongshim? I'm picking Nongshim.
In terms of just playing,
but I think it's going to be a good game.
I'd like to even say Mata at this point.
Absolutely.
I think Nongshim is going to be one of the harder teams for Velocity to beat. Especially if Nongshim plays like they did the other day. If Nongshim is shaky, then Velocity should win. But if Nongshim plays like they did against whoever they played most recently, then I think Velocity might have some problems.
Valeu, cara. Eu tô aqui com a Zani, que é criadora de conteúdo e que foi convencida pela torcida da TSM, que vocês estão ouvindo gritar, a torcer justamente pela TSM, tá com um bandeirão. Então, como é que foi isso? Agora tá pelos caras aqui?
Sim, completamente. Foi virei fã.
Convenceram você mesmo, falaram não, vai ser pela TSM e vambora.
Sim.
Tá vendo? Prometeram uma camiseta, alguma coisa ou nada a ver?
Is Nongshim saving strats for playoffs? No, I think they just made sort of like a late stage roster move. And they're still like kind of figuring out how to play together. But the last game that I watched them play, they looked really good.
Seco, suave, mais pegado. Os caras lá são muito bons, é clássico regional.
2-0, eles vão amassar. Vamos!
Tá vendo? É isso. O brasileiro, a brasileira, enfim, sendo convencido pela TSM. So that's it. Like a Brazilian being convinced to cheer for TSM. TSM has fans all around the world. É isso aí. Vamos ver se vai dar certo.
I love to see the fans here, and you know, even though you could count on one hand bands, I know you were remembering the amount of TSM fans that are there. I think there's going to be some new fans that are going to be joining the Church of TSM very soon.
Yeah, I agree, because if not, TSM had probably their biggest fan base.
It's going to be hard to beat Velocity now. I mean, we'll see. They're definitely looking good. I'm not a Velocity hater, and I would love to see them ascend, honestly. I think it'd be great for the Indian Valorant scene. It would be really cool for the former GE players to earn their way back in.
You know,
but
bringing fresh new blood.
I'm not going to count out the two teams that have played an entire year at Tier 1 yet.
But they are definitely making their mark.
I think both Nongshim and Boom are going to be very, very tough to beat.
For Envy to solidify, they've got two pushed up into A. Really interesting insertion to see if they can get.
Do I feel bad for Rare Adam? I mean, yeah, man. Like they just can't do it. They can't get it over the line.
And it's just Kane, Zara, no, and now they're kind of isolated. Envy get overwhelmed by the teamwork of TSM yet again.
They were just trying to find some one-off timings for Envy getting denied. TSM's in a good spot in his post play.
All the timing is bad.
He's on the floor.
Doesn't matter.
Turnable. Wait, nope. 7 picks it all up, and that's
TSM 10-3.
You have these pop-off players, but it's the support that they have for each other, and that's what I mean by like friendship. It's not just they get along out of game.
But why are they not getting anti playing the same comp? I mean, first of all, the games are just kind of back to back to back to back to back. It's hard to like have enough time to really deep dive them. Second of all, they're playing the same comp on maps it's not necessarily used to being played on, so there's like they're doing some new stuff that people probably haven't played against before. But also, I mean, they're just doing a good job playing together. Like, it's not all about comps. It's definitely not all about comps. A lot of it is about fundamentals, teamwork, which I think Velocity has some of the best at Ascension.
Three other of his teammates.
Nexter is able to draw out some of this TSM util to make sure they clear him out. He teleports out. And you wait for 7 just to get in position to be able to explode onto the site. And that's the beauty of being able to play that breach first. Timo Tino that could just be dashing in. I worry though with Envy owning this left corner, and Timo Tino doesn't care about the scrub damage, and Extra misses the shot he needed to hit, but the Bucky hurts at close range, and Envy have their backs against the wall.
Dude, I mean, TSM, they're decisive, they're playing together. They look great. Yeah, Russ's utility has been really good. What kind of tools do Valorant coaches use for in-depth analysis? I mean, depends. Like, some teams have really good data analysts working with them. Obviously, you just watch VODs, you keep spreadsheets. You know, some teams are probably using some AI tools, I would imagine, at this point. Is that the YouTuber Eggster? Yes, sir. The YouTuber Eggster is on one of the best teams in North America.
Got the top and the best out of Envy, and this is going to be a very strong position that TSM takes right now. The bonus round that they have is still quite strong. Already shock darts are breaking Inspire's trips. That's usually great spots that he puts them. They could still use great value out of it, but he doesn't have it anymore.
Ion needs to wake up.
Defense start off with a 9-3 half, and they're heading into maybe a similar scoreline of 13-3 like they did against Stella. But hold on, Envy closed the door.
Big round from Inspire. Couple early kills. Good trade by Eggster.
Cause a ruckus and threats on multiple angles, but now 7 falls, and Envy will not go by, and they'll be able to win the rifle round.
And that's the annoying part too. The one ways that Inspire throws into what I like to call the trumpets there on the top C side, creates little one ways for himself too, and even isolates an angle so he can play onto the platform and even look into the garage at the same time. So you really have to be careful that even if the trips are gone on the side of Inspire, he could still play some very good positions here.
My views on Damara just playing Neon. I don't have a problem with Velocity playing one comp for the entire event. I think Comfort's great. Comfort is always good. If they're the most confident on him playing Neon on every map, then they should put him on Neon on every map.
And are sitting comfortably in the lead here, so they could figure out how they could close out these last 2 rounds on their side.
Okay, already Eggster finding that first pick, so now back-to-back rounds where Envy gets some good proactivity, but now to
great teamwork from TSM.
Because they know Ion still wants to have his moment in the sun. But TSM just that close to the finish line.
Okay, they do have the breach ult. Ion on the flank though. This is a big duel. Misses the paranoia. Ooh, that's a rough play. I don't like that play from Ion.
Rolling Thunder available for
He didn't need to get aggro there.
Does he go for it? Oh, the drive-by, you needed to hit that, and he's gonna go for the Rolling Thunder. He only
Wait, Inspire's re-wrapping him.
I don't know where the other one is, but it's simply to deny the spike from being touched and the awareness to know the flank could be a possibility.
Close.
Too much pressure for him to handle.
Yes,
Yeah.
he exactly knew where Inspire was going to be coming from, but unfortunately, after Rolling Thunder,
Kind of a nice play by Inspire to re-wrap there.
that window to really or rush into the B site or just making sure that he could bait out.
I'm a little surprised that 7 blew the breach out there in that fashion.
Went back onto NB side, the tap forces him out, and they go for the sandwich play. But pretty decent round in the end here for the side of TSM because they had some sort of a mixed buy with the plant, so it allows for them to have a pretty comfortable buy going into this round number 17. Couple of them away from most likely from the shadows.
Co-stream with TMV. Is he watching this game? I don't know.
Pick this up. Not the best ult you could really use in the game, but very, very important in that like haven. So you can really get towards that back of the C line and really start engaging into a split.
So much good information from Envy, and this walk up from Kane Zera could really throw TSM for a loop, along with another opening kill, make it a second one.
Very aggressive push from Kane.
On an adventure, and TSM, they don't want to be the villains in his story.
Okay, nice wrap from 7.
TSM continue have their focus forward. You still have that op that has not been revealed. Exter was kind of checking things out in mid. He'll be still on that duty, trusting his sentinel. Inspire. He gets caught and spotted on the left side. He's gonna need a
Psycho. Psycho play. It's a big pick.
Cuts off some rotations. This is still anyone's game, and you cannot allow TSM to get the match point. You need a little bit more breathing room if you're.
They don't know about Ion and backside here.
Hold of TSM just this whole game. And it's the
Yeah,
TSM play
if he, I was gonna say if he can get the spike, he can teleport. But nice little anchor by Ion.
For Ion as well. You can already see when you're trying to clear back.
Took the timing, got into back plat.
For TSM, you already had to use so many big util to really flush Kane away.
Why no audience in Pacific? I think there is an audience,
Paranoia was actually being used for that.
but I actually don't know.
Well, everybody's so separated into TSM that you have to go
I do not know.
When it comes down to that 2 versus 2 in the back of the platform, though, you kind of just needed Ions to stay alive as long as he could, so that the late lurk and rotate could come in from Poppin. Look how he stays tucked in after this fight, just trying to bait GMD towards him, out in the open, a free kill in the back there from Poppin. And that was just nicely played. So they stay alive in this fight. TSM's back into a half buy, a little bit of a quasi G2 with 3 stingers.
Ooh, they almost caught the perfect timing there. Yeah, they're gonna try it. They do run him down.
Well, he's also got backup plans, and they don't even know if he has this probably. And
okay.
TSM, we'll get an upgrade here.
I mean, that's a lot of orbs for breach.
I'd like to see a health upgrade. Exter making noise, and there's good cover. And this means that Envy not only stay alive,
No audience? Yeah, I don't know.
starting to thrive. This is a 4-round win streak building.
Maybe there will be for playoffs. I don't know.
A lot of big ask that's coming out here from those that you know could frag up big for the side of Envy, and that's Eggster and Kane Zera. But I gotta say, despite these low buys that you have from TSM, everybody's kind of like just shooting on point so far. Look at this entry that you have from GMD, and even on low HP after for 7, he's able to muster up 2 kills of his own with his stinger. And then they had to come down to this right here for the shorty to get some good damage, and the one that got the first kill on the ones trying to push towards the sewers. So yeah, that now at least they're able to, at least you know the check mark is that they're able to fight toe to toe right now. TSM
In playoffs, there will be an audience. Yeah, that's kind of what I figured.
comes right now to their entries or their executions. They are
All right, NBS, solve the problem. Close out the map.
They're losing so many players in the process. So
Don't get them. Don't give Envy momentum.
How they could work this a little bit better.
This is the wind and the sail.
Did I look at the EMEA playing booth? Yeah, I don't know what EMEA is doing right now, bro. Like, they're not even in a studio. They're in like a random office building, it looks like.
Is this real? Because yes, we talk about that TSM win in the grand final and how much that meant, and they were really starting to get to their prime, hit their peak. But TSM have only been able to defeat Envy one time out of, well,
How's Roster Mania looking for GE? I don't know. I don't know anything, bro. I don't know anything about anything right now. I'm just sitting here waiting to be told what's happening.
And I already cursed the 13-3 score line. Envy putting up a much stronger of a fight when
I think maybe news will come at the end of the month, and then we'll start figuring stuff out. But I have no idea.
Pulled by TSM. TSM are looking for the insert. Just try to do some damage on this C site. Maybe a cage should be thrown just to create some sort of diversion on the A site. Don't know if we're really.
What a trip! What a trip from Inspire. Damn, he gets traded out though. 7 gets 2 with an entry Odin play? No fucking way. Nice trade by Poppin though. And the tag on Alvin Boy. That's big. Okay. Really nice ult from Poppin.
This is savable from Envy. Despite the shoelaces getting a bit tangled up, and TSM will still be allowed to plant.
This is a big fight though. Alvin Boy not dying. They have a trip to watch the flank. Dimensional Drift is going to find information right now, but if Vora could escape, he's got the Hunter's Fury to work with post-plant.
Oh, the paranoia is insane from Ion, actually.
It's just a distraction, but Envy just shoot better. I don't know, they're looking kind of unstoppable right now.
That was just so nice, though, in the combination from both Eggster and Ion.
I mean, that was a good round from TSM, but Poppin getting that kill, the trade was huge, and then getting the extra tag on the Cypher was a big deal.
All the way back towards the A site. So he goes through, picks up a weapon at the same time while he's in
It's not a diplomatic answer. I literally just don't know what's happening. I can't be any more clear. I have no idea what's happening for 2026. I know absolutely fucking nothing. If I had to give some advice to VLT, what would it be? Keep doing what you're doing. Keep playing together. Don't lose confidence if you get run over by a team in a map.
I think TSM's going to start avoiding that C side if you're going to keep playing that side.
Ooh. Big whiff. Okay, they're just fucking sending it. Amazing dart from Poppin. The util from Poppin has been great. Tanzera grabs. They all swarm. Alright, I mean, TSM, they might have to call another timeout here.
That's still Aura actually coming from.
They're playing the old update.
Because he had no trips on the site. I think that he just popped his camera, maybe tagged one, but had enough vision to see where they were scaling up towards that site. So that even playing on the top of heaven inside that smoke, he's able to spray down 2, make that even, I think, even 3 players into.
What is this? Every player has like a little phone next to them. What is the phone?
Second timeout already from the side of TSM. If all of these site execs, yeah, look at that. It even catches 2. That's insane. But like I said, I feel like right now you called a timeout. You're trying to go for 2 big plays because you have enough money to work for 2 rounds. And they get stopped right away. Now you're closing that gap here for the side of Envy.
Yeah, another timeout for TSM.
You have to talk things through because you're starting to see things falter on the side of.
Come on, guys, you got to close this out.
If you're just tuning in right now, this is also just familiar territory.
You got to close this out.
They were getting dominated.
You cannot let them come back.
Against their opponents last time, and they were falling behind by quite a lot. But once we got into that second half.
If you let them come back, they're going to run you over in the next map, I think.
Sorry, to catch up into the game and also just being dominating on the second half and not give a chance for their opponent to really come back in the game. And I think that was Team Solid, if I'm not mistaken. That's it.
The 4-3 looks so weird. Yeah.
One more timeout available for Envy to work with. And TSM looks like they are going to reach deep into the pockets into this buy.
Yeah, I don't know what the phone is. At first I thought I was like, oh, maybe they're using it as a camera, but then they have the webcam on top of the monitor, so I don't know what the phone is for.
But anyway, the lock-in, because this map is almost wrapped up. Envy did such a fantastic job to have a clean start to the round, to deny the Rolling Thunder, and you still have a stinger here from 7, which he had an awkward range. Eggster has prioritized a lot of this op holding.
Early reclear at A with the drone, so
and excuse me, it was against 9Z.
The info is going to be low.
Remains that they had full confidence here of the second half, but They are trying to.
And this is like this is basically like a full-on force from TSM. Alvin Boy is not gonna have any money next round. GMD is gonna be low also.
Nobody's really pushing out. You're waiting off the timer even from the TP from
Okay, they re-clear A.
Try to flush him out and force him to use his last TP, so you identify that gap. So that's why that drone came through right after, but it still hasn't seen anything yet.
The plan here, boys.
That aggressive peek down towards that long B side because he already set his second TP.
Contacting garage. 40-second timing.
Gonna get. Now the ball is in TSM's court. Dunk on Envy, catch the
Ooh, huge kill from Poppin. Gets 2. Damn. All right, that's the round. I think TSM needs to be a little bit more proactive. It's hard against the op, but you can't just let the Cypher hold info on C by himself the entire round.
From the minimap the whole time between Alvin Boy and Ion. Basically, you're trying to go for this mid-round call of saying, okay, well, we don't really know where Extra is at. Let's just try to go for that pump on that C site. If Alvin
it looks like
shape or form on that A site, we could always fall back if we can.
it looks like it's their volume.
Ion off guard, throws smokes, misses the fight, misses the kill. Ion throws a paranoia.
It looks like it's volume levels. So maybe they're using these phones as like a mixer or something.
It's just hilarious. At least we saw the last few seconds of that fight.
Yeah, I wonder if they're using it as like a sound mixer.
For a Hail Mary onto the C site.
Oh, another TSM flood, and they've had success. They may have found the kryptonite and Envy getting melted.
Ooh, okay. I mean, this would be a big round.
The final boss has always been and Timotino, and it
Just gonna take the plants. Pop the dash. Ooh, he gets one tapped. That's huge. Huge from Poppin.
And Envy get a defuse. And just a reminder to folks, this
was
3 at one point.
Yeah.
This is amazing.
This is a big comeback from Envy. These rounds are so close too. TSM is getting so close to winning these rounds. But they're losing every single one of these close ones. This has got to feel like pretty scary.
Timing was not there in terms of his crossfire placement. And Poppin just gets the easy kill towards the. I mean, that you just saw that bullet whip by his ear too. That was very close. No cigar though for the side of TSM, but it's 11-11 with the buy coming back on their side, and even 7 decides not to go for the Odin. So he was going to try to support from just running it down with close range battles with the rest of the team when Timotino potentially would try to dash in again.
Tie game. And Envy gonna keep the same defensive setup because guess what? It's worked, and Inspire just needs one to get that neural theft and to give defense an even bigger advantage, along with just some initial damage to 7 and not letting Timotino escape. Poppin's got a lot of bullets.
Opening pick goes to Exter.
Rotate back in. Exter is gone, and so are TSM. The spike has fallen.
Uh-oh.
Envy got a lot to say, and TSM.
Uh-oh, TSM. Not like this, man. Not like this, guys.
Well, yeah, no rounds coming through here for TSM and Envy at map point, and they just understood the play coming out from TSM. Because even with a fake that they threw on that C site, what really stole was not only the smokes and the util from
yeah, big comeback on defense Haven with a double duelist comp.
Look how free this kill becomes after onto Timotino. He sees nothing down that lane right after, so nobody has to rotate on the side of A. So Poppin just stays there, ADSs with the Odin. And Envy's turning it back in. They're about to
Extra carrying again.
And take the first map away from TSM's grasp.
Honestly, this has been a really good team effort from Envy on the comeback.
In a row. Envy giving us some miracles. Poppin is doing so much damage, and TSM are
Kane's deep. Deep behind enemy lines. Uh-oh. Now you've lost your flank watch. What are you gonna do?
Another option, and now there really isn't any alternative but to hit this A site, and Envy know it.
They are absolutely stuck. Nice. I mean, Timotino just needs to carry them here. Oh, Jesus. Extra gets out. Envy comes in. Holy shit. I can't believe they came back. Jesus. Uh-oh. That is rough for TSM.
Are you not entertained?
In true fashion, too. And when TSM was so loud at the beginning of this game, look at how nonchalantly Inspire stands up and gives a double thumbs up to TSM after they've dominated them on the defensive side. Look at the attempt.
That's crazy.
Trying to do to updraft again and get kills off the Bladestorm, and next they're just TPs away.
Ion started like 1 in 13, and he finished with like 15 kills, I think.
Method to the madness.
That's nuts.
Some sort of recipe to the chaos, and it works out perfectly for Envy when it comes down to these gunfights and how they're ready to fight back against TSM. It looked good at the very beginning here, 11Q.
That's tough. 10 in a row. 10 in a row is rough, man.
To fight against Envy, but it definitely seems that when
All right, TSM, you got to bounce back after that one.
TSM, unfortunately, so did their confidence to try to close out this first map.
Picking Haven has been a mistake that so many teams have fallen for when going up against Envy. That's been one of their strongest maps, but I know everyone's been looking at the recent results. There's been a lot of excitement around TSM, and we were on the hype train, okay? It had no stops. 11-3 start. We were like, all right, wrap this one up. And Envy will wrap them in a body bag. That was an insane turnaround from Envy. I can't believe it. The land stage brings a different energy, a different vibe, and Envy locked in when it matters on TSM's map pick. And up next is Sunset. That's Envy's choice. We'll see how that works out.
Yeah, I'm a little worried for TSM now. That's a tough one to lose and bounce back from, but we'll put our faith in NBS to rally the troops. Good night, Radioactive. Sleep well. Which teams look strong from South America? I think the team with Digizin, Team Solid, probably looks like the best team. But I haven't watched enough to really have a great read on it.
It means so much to us. It's good to be back. The beauty of gaming is it doesn't matter who you are, but as long as I'm good enough.
Which region do I think have the best quality Ascension teams? I mean, it's probably Americas or Pacific. Furia Koalanib, I saw that rumored the other day. Do I have any favorite? What, who do I think is going to qualify? I don't know from Americas. I don't really have a favorite. I think it'd be really cool if Winthrop qualified.
A showdown between the
Having a
two
collegiate team
top
qualify would be
teams
insane.
coming
I'll be right
into
back,
this
guys. I'm gonna get a snack.
rivalry that it was coming to a head near the end of stage 3, getting into the first map. It was one that we saw before and one that looked like TSM was gonna run away with. But Dan, the comeback, it's gonna be Envy to close out the map 13-11 after being down 3-11. That was just a crazy way to be starting off the series with playoffs on the line.
That was one of the most insane comebacks we've seen. It seemed like the game was over for TSM. They were going to close it out. It was 11-3. Everything went according to plan in their defense. Their defense was so strong. But when it came down to switching sides, everything just started to snowball. It was a little bit of the ultimate. It was some of the reads that they were trying to have towards that C side that didn't work out. They attempted to go for these fast plays on A as well, and it was just Envy winning every single one of them. It is actually insane what we just saw in this map.
Yeah, I mean, complete madness. I feel like the 11-3, I mean, you finished the half 9-3 for TSM. You win the pistol 11-3. I mean, I'm already writing my notes. I'm already saying goodbye, I feel like, almost. And I'm sure some of the players on TSM are feeling the same way, but the defensive half comes out here from Envy. And just kind of thinking back on it, guys, I feel like the way that Envy was approaching the defensive side has been something that they've been doing throughout the entire year, right? They're playing the fast floods. They're playing more centric towards the center of the map so that they're able to flood C, flood A in time. And that's kind of been their bread and butter recipe of winning the defensive halves on this map, which is the fast floods. And I feel like TSM just did not account their game plan for that at all. And they found themselves getting completely interrupted when they're trying to hit sites. And it felt like at no point in time did TSM try to get a comfortable finish on any of these sites.
It definitely seemed like TSM, they were trying to outmatch that pace that Envy had on the defense. They were trying to be just a little bit faster on those C hits, on those A hits as well, but it was just not working out. There were so many different tools to slow down Timotino. Timotino was going out by himself. You see towards C, he gets caught by a trip, he gets taken down, and everybody else is trying to force it, trying to trade him. But at that point, you see all of the Envy players from the defense already on site. The same thing happens in A, and also it really helps that Envy, I mean, they were winning literally every single round after the first and second and that second half, and that led them to allow them to have so many ultimates to work with. You see it when there was an idea for TSM to play it fast towards A, a side that they didn't even try that much before, and there was a Rolling Thunder as well to slow them down. Just very, very well played for Envy there.
Yeah, the teamwork and just how fast Envy was to respond at any point on their own defensive end. I mean, TSM, you just see like that one lone person on the back of C, whether it's Inspire or Ion, and TSM can't flush that individual out before all of a sudden the rest of Envy has already responded to the call. And for TSM, just a heartbreaking way to be kicking off the series after being so close to closing out there. Envy as well. I mean, Roy, when you look back, we had talked about the fact that it's not just that momentum-based team, that they can have those comebacks. That is part of the growth that we've seen throughout this split for them. And that's something that we really did get to see as the entire team stood up.
Yeah, I mean, that's all I could really say is the maturity is definitely starting to show for this roster. Like, old Envy, they might have had a hard time, but new Envy, it's just a time and time again story that we're seeing here in Ascensions. But guys, I think for me, the concern here is the fact that one, Timotino was actually popping off this map. He was doing an amazing job. The first half was lights out by him. I think he ended 20-5 or some crazy stuff. But you have a pop off for Timotino. Everyone's feeling good. I mean, Seven had a great game. GMD had a great game. Vora and Alvin all had their moments. But it feels like even with that, they were not able to have this map. And this was their map pick. I feel like if you're Envy, you're thinking about that. And you're feeling great. Like you just had an amazing series. You just came back from what was a pop off from the TSM side. It felt like, and then now you're coming into your map pick, and Envy does not have 2 bad games in a row, guys. These guys are about to wake up on the second map.
It's wild, especially because when we saw that first half, TSM looked so good in the defense. They were doing the exact same things that they were playing against Stella, and everything was going according to plan. But like we said before, things really snowball. And I think one of the biggest highlights of how that half went from, how that map went from complete destruction for the side of Envy to being able to take control and turn it around. It was Ion. The way that Ion ended that first half, it was 1-11. He only got 1 kill, and as we went into the second half, he went 14-6. So that turnaround for your Omen player when everything.
From what I understand, what W is gonna do is if the players qualify, then they will be
team too.
Basically, they'll have to look for an org, kind of like what G2 did.
I wanted to talk about was poppin', because we had highlighted Vora at the
Like
beginning of
the
day
guard
as
players,
the
rather.
IGL that can step up, and that is still
I'm pretty sure
very
that's what
true. But Roy, we
is
didn't really
gonna
know
happen.
what
So like,
poppin'
if they were to
is,
qualify,
at that defensive.
they would all
Evan
probably
was constantly getting those multi-kills, winning
put
those
their
rounds
college
on
on
you know,
pause.
like that could have been game-breaking right
I mean,
there.
maybe some of them would stay and like finish their college. I don't know, but as a team, they would have to like find an org to pick them up, like G2.
Working, you knew exactly that TSM would eventually try to like throw fakes towards the C site, go towards A. And that's when we kind of saw the switch up by Poppin and Exer with the operator as well as the Odin hiding on site. It really did feel like Poppin not only was playing extremely well mechanically, holding down the sites, flooding perfectly, using perfectly timed utility to set up his teammates, but he was also so active with, you know, being involved in the gunfights and kind of being in the right place at the right time consistently. And it's that kind of performance that allowed them to come back on the second half.
And it's a comeback that's going to net them the first map in the series. One map away closing out to secure a spot in the playoffs. And they're going to their own map pick. Not just their own map pick, Dan. We saw this last time these two teams had faced. And it was that one map that TSM lost. So Envy definitely in the driver's seat right now.
There's a lot of confidence in, yeah, like you're saying, for that grand final between TSM and Envy. This was the map that Envy were able to get away with. It was the opening map for the grand final as well. But also, ever since then, both of the teams have played this map. For Envy, we recently saw against 9Z. And I think I mentioned before that they were not able to close it out. They were able to close it out. It was just very close for what it was their map pick. They closed it 13-11 against 9Z. And then for Envy, they played this map as well in a third-party tournament. And I feel like that it is a good indication of them changing their composition since they played in that grand final. I don't think TSM is going to keep the same as we saw back then. And I think that extra...
No, Winthrop is actually a college.
is an indication of a little bit of the sage that we've seen for other...
It's a real university.
Yeah, and guys, for me, the
Like,
other thing too to consider is
all of the players are actually students there.
Being a different composition, it was an Envy lights out on that defensive side as well. The same thing that we just kind of just saw on Haven. So I feel like if you're TSM, you're a little bit shook with what just happened, but there's really no time to dwell, right? They need to be moving on. They need to kind of be, you know, just having a great defensive half for TSM. You don't want Envy getting into that second half and kind of doing the same thing they did to TSM last time. They did to the other team that they played previously as well. It's just the defensive comp by TSM is everything is there, right? They have the Sage utility to slow things down, kind of keep the pace of Exter and Kane's era down a little bit with the early slows, with the paint shell combos. So I feel like
You want to grab a coffee in NV1? Yeah, it was 10 straight rounds. Tough for TSM. 10 straight rounds on Haven defense, which is crazy.
And it's exactly what I mentioned before for TSM. That composition that they're playing is one that they didn't play in the grand final, but they played in a third-party tournament. So they're bringing the stage, they're bringing Timotino on the race as well. And for Envy, they're keeping things the same. But like you're saying, that one condition for me for TSM is going to have a strong defense, because for Envy, they do exactly the same as they did on the last map.
And for Envy, doing the same can net them a 2-0, but TSM, they know how to bounce back. See if they can with playoffs on the line. Let's head.
I mean, all of the players on Winthrop have been in either Canada or the United States for a long time. Like they're using, like, Glyph and Infiltrator are using like Filipino and Vietnamese flags, but I'm pretty sure they're either like Vietnamese American or Canadian or whatever. Like, I think they were born, maybe they were born in the country of their flag, but they live as a citizen, I believe, in a North American country.
Just comes to show that they wanted to iron out some kinks.
Maybe they have dual residency, I don't know.
In the past didn't work really well against Envy. So now they have a save from 7 that, again, counteracts Kane Zera's Neon, but they have to be ready for an Exer now that could still cross those orbs. And we'll keep an eye on that now that they start off on the defensive side, where Envy on the attack has looked amazing against 9Z in the past, and they're going into the weak side already over at B.
Kane Zera, we'll get to see those mechanics shine on an agent that demands so much of it when the speed ramps up. Deep paranoia and completely an open sight. So Envy.
Okay, Envy just gets a free sight on their pistol.
Out some util now, focusing over in market.
Who's Winthrop's best current player? I'm not sure, honestly.
Timotino ready to throw in
maybe Moobs or Ollie.
thrown in from GMD. And Envy have kind of a split approach right now. Some in main and keep TSM suppressed, and even a wall to kind of create some isolations. TSM, well, the patience pays off, although there are some gaps in Envy. Poking through.
Ooh, nice retake.
TSM's retake still ends up working out.
And that's a great start for TSM as well. Even
Yeah, it depends on the passport. I mean, if they're all dual residents, that's great for them. Like, having dual residents in Valorant is kind of a cheat code because it makes it so you can go to a variety of different countries, play in a couple different regions.
But what was important was how they cleared towards the back of that B site.
Especially if you speak multiple languages.
The wall to block out the site so that
If you can speak English plus Chinese or English plus Korean or English plus Spanish or Portuguese, then you're in a good spot.
A strong pistol round and hopefully a strong first half against Envy, who are now 5-manning.
Nice angle for Timotino. Oh, you're in trouble. Damn, nice flood. Nice fill by 7. Alright, here we go again, TSM. Here we go again, TSM. Don't let me down.
Even though they look very dominant on their Haven game versus Envy in the first place, and when they got that 13-2 scoreline against their opponents in the past, I think their bread and butter really comes down to these maps where they leverage that Sage onto 7. Like the way he plays around his orbs and the walls and also the Odins later on, it makes it very difficult for you to try to penetrate that first layer of that Sage utility. And they could trust him a lot to anchor and hold down those lines solo.
No, something can't classify as Pacific. Whoa, Observer. Relax, bro.
So they are going to try to play some
what is this Observer camera, dude? Please. Please, Observer camera, thank you.
This is awesome, but the lock back in. Envy got the information, they got the market, but feeling a little pincered.
There's been some talks about the players who have been in Pacific for a while being reclassified, like something, and you know, Crystal and Jemkin, these types of players that have basically only played in the Pacific region. But as far as I know, that is not happening this year and may never happen. It's 2:40 a.m. and I can't sleep. Any tips? Turn off your phone and close your eyes. That might help.
Then decides to move into the market. I mean, all this information is going to be ready. It should be around easy for Envy, but despite that, some pretty decent damage being outputted by the side of TSM to force now armor out of Kainzira. With that death, you now have 7 with the res available. So they could try to go for something aggressive if they wanted to. For example, trying to get the maybe that operator out as soon as possible here if they can for the side here of Timotino. Try to go for that audio for that aggressive line, and then you can get the res after if it gets picked off.
This is kind of a similar start to that second half of Haven, where TSM win the pistol, win the anti-eco, and then Envy started building a bit of a win streak. So it's when Envy find themselves behind, they know how to rise back up. Now with that mid-control, market has been a huge priority as of late, but a change up of the smoke.
Trying to run him down. Nice blast pack. Holy shit, what a blast pack. That was so nice.
And now there's none left for Envy.
What a blast pack from Timotino.
What Timotino just did to Kane as he was getting that is something similar to what Timotino has done on his debut on the stage. The way that he moves around with the satchels very aggressively, and also that sets up that second satchel to pop his opponent and give that free kill for Alvin Boy. He's able to do that
big round from Alvin
for himself as well, to be able to pick up some fights on a 1v1. So I gotta say, man, this kid is very talented for the side of Timotino, and I'm pretty sure after this tournament there's going to be a lot of eyes on him.
All our eyes are on TSM as well. especially with an op over at A. Envy, so dynamic with how they're just constantly changing how they play the map as the desk could.
Why they look so angry? I think they're just locked in. I think they're just focused. Oh, man. What a hit. What a hit through top middle. The flash. Okay, Alvin Boy. Can he anchor this? Okay. Yeah, definitely use your hat. Gets the info. Damn. Back-to-back rounds for Alvin Boy. Give him the ace. Give him the ace! There it is. Give him the ace.
One of those players that was really quiet, not really on anybody's radar, and I love the fact that he was scouted out here by.
You saw that I was on UO's roster as a coach for CVAL fall warm-up. I didn't know that. I've been helping out University of Oregon for the last couple of years.
Mentioned only comes in from 2 players. That is 7 and GMD from the last time TSM was on the stage playing Ascension. Now Vora, Timotino, and
But I'm not like full-time working with them or anything.
On this stage for a very long time, and they do not care.
But I sit in on some of their practices and help them out whenever I can.
11-13 when they had such a strong lead. They're still looking quite dominant right now, so good on them to also keep that mental.
Wait, is Envy actually sponsored by Nike? There's no way, right?
Yeah, there's such a strong pushback from TSM in that last.
There's no way they're actually sponsored by Nike.
Envy have these explosive starts. Like, I like that TSM don't cower, they don't retreat, they hold their ground as Alvin Boy does and casually gets an ace against. Well, what I thought was, oh, it's just sheriffs, and Envy had us in the first half, I'm not gonna lie, but this half is also very much favoring TSM 4-1, and
no, I don't think so.
See if that makes a difference for Envy now that they're able to buy up. Kane Zero 1 off the overdrive, you have 1 off the dimensional. So many ults for Envy. This has got to be an orb play.
That is true. Maybe try to focus it onto Exter first. He's actually going to try to create this diversion on the A side first.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a big believer in collegiate esports, and I think it's like a very good option for kids that want to try and go pro, but don't necessarily want to go all in, and like potentially screw over their future by just doing nothing but playing games and never making it. So it works for like basically all normal sports, so it should also work for esports. Okay, 2v2. They are going to put the Hunter's Fury into this. I don't know. Damn, okay. The trade. They're playing this kind of weird, to be honest. Good read by Poppin. He's going to know that he's coming the other side here pretty soon, I think.
This map has begun, and this has been someone we've talked about and highlighted in that previous map.
Maybe a good read from Vora. Big kill from Vora.
Does it again. One of our top performers in the first matches, and he delivers.
On a 1v1 IGL versus IGL mirror matchup. And the fact that
that's big.
Towards that back of the site shows the game sense that he has. Even salvages the op that he utilized at the beginning of the round. Because you think here, after that plant, Poppin has Hunter's Fury. It's plant for main. He still has util to work with and probably a recon dart for the post plant. Yet Vora wants to make sure that he clears that back of the site first. Does so and wins that one with a spray. Look at this clear. Easy one towards the end. And stays calm.
You're helping to manage OSU's Valorant teams like Oregon State, I assume.
Look at the amount of ults available for Envy. They are going for
I guess could be Oklahoma State or Ohio State as well, but I assume you mean Oregon State. Oh, whoops, Timotino.
Oh darn, maybe a good thing, maybe a blessing disguise. Hunter's Fury, but the wall, like you said, is an extra detour that Envy have to take and a ring around.
Holy shit. Yeah, okay, cool.
King Zara, man. Just with the ult too. Envy came in guns blazing.
Okay, Envy's... Honestly, Envy's best rounds have been their ecos so far.
Momentum in this map.
That's all 5 ults utilized for the round. So you're going to take it any day here for TSM. But you see the battle. There's still some sort of chess pieces that are put at the right places so that they could try to go toe-to-toe.
Looking forward to playing Yua and run it back. Yeah, I mean, honestly, I don't know anything about their schedule or the tournaments that they're playing in or anything. Like, the communication between me and them is pretty spotty. And so when I have time, I'll just message them and be like, yo, when are you practicing next? Let me pull up. And then occasionally I'll sit in on a game if I have time. But I love the kids over there. Like, the program is cool. It's had some nice sort of turnover of like former students into managerial roles, and they've done a very good job of like bringing in people every year, people that are good and care about the esports scene and help make the program better. So it's cool. Oh, good coverage by Timotino.
It's a good idea, for sure.
Damn, what a shot. Yeah, this kid is good.
And it's op versus op, and Poppin doesn't care. You can buy another one. And TSM.
All right, I mean, TSM is running away with it again. But can they close? Can they close?
But I feel like when they tried to go for that flash recon, it was perfect to blind Alvin Boy, but that smoke was once again a little bit too late here towards that back of Boba. Same thing that happened to the TSM when they're trying to execute towards that A side of Haven just the previous map. See, before it pops, an easy kill for Timotino. He saves his team and even gets a second pick, and now they can pull the anchor onto the site. That could be costly right now for Envy for the rest of this half. But they do have money to work with, and already you heard some tags coming through by a camera, and that's looking towards this A side. So that Envy is going to strictly and immediately pivot into a top mid control.
There's been so much brawling through the perimeter for Envy. They've conditioned TSM to leave the mid gap open. And Envy try to cross the road and isolate using a smoke, and it's not a good start.
Backstab from GMD. What's the timing like here? Paranoia hits. How the fuck does Iron get 2 here? Okay, he knows where this guy is. Great coverage. Really, really good job from TSM working together there.
It looked almost doable at that point after Ion's able to fight on the other side of the smoke. So you have 2 players playing individual 1v2s on both extremities of top middle. And Ion was looking for a spray through the smoke, got the one blinded, just couldn't get the kill towards the end. But it comes to the teamwork that TSM kind of had towards that top middle. As soon as you had the flash come through or they hurt the drone, they went for sprays through the boxes. They still had a passive trip looking into the cross of Boba instead of getting the full information on the top. Again, just those little changes that are coming out here from TSM's side where you think you're leaving a gap open for your opponents. Look at those clean shots from Ion, though.
Who's my Ascension pick for Americas?
Finished like maybe 2 deaths over his kills.
Who do I want to make it, or who do I actually think is going to make it? I haven't watched a ton of Americas, so I don't really know these players that well. But I think it would be great if we got 1 American team and 1 South American team. So I'll just say I think it would be cool if Solid and TSM made it, or I will drop the Brazilian team or the South American team if Winthrop makes it. Who do I think's actually gonna make it? I honestly have no idea. I honestly have no idea.
So Envy haven't really found a really soft side of the map at all. It's been a lot of individual plays.
Based on what I'm watching so far, I feel like TSM is gonna make it.
Try to initiate towards middle a little bit more too.
Regardless of whether they win or lose this, but
just to look to see if
I haven't seen Winthrop play in a while.
And as he pops that up, if he notices these 2 players, they'll be pivoting back to a mid control and maybe playing some inserts. Look at how Exter is already towards that B main trying to walk in.
Got a ghost though, and still have to clear where is this op going to be. Well, the boombot would tell you the right side. Now Envy would have to race him down. Let's see if they can make him uncomfortable. But TSM, you're really not going to find them in these solo situations too often. There's always someone there ready to trade. And Envy got a strike while TSM are on the retreat. The flash is out from Envy. They start the win over an alley.
Seven's got to get at least one more. Damn, he gets two. What an anchoring job by him. What an anchoring job.
Careful, not let this go by, and Inspire have to go into the alley to get an upgrade, and he's got the spike, and now
Careful, he's got an operator.
Danger is afoot. He's gonna do this with the op. And just see how close they are. He's gonna bait the spike.
Oh my god, he legged him. Oh my god, he legged him as he jumped down.
Yeah, I think he even legged him when GMD.
Yeah.
That was the crazy part.
I've been wondering what happens if Winthrop makes it. So what I understand from what I've heard, but I don't have anything like confirmed. What I've heard is that basically it'll just be like the guard / G2 situation where the players will just go get an org. But I don't know. I don't know exactly how that would work. I would assume that they will just like drop out and if they get signed by an org. But I don't actually know. I mean, maybe some of them would stay in college. I think it would be an interesting situation to try and maneuver because, like, on one hand, yes, you want to like be like, dude, go take your shot. You know, you can always come back to college later. But at the same time, the whole point of being a collegiate athlete is like you're a student first, athlete second. So it kind of sets like a weird precedent to be like, all right, now that you made it, drop out. But at the same time, I don't know.
Envy could have maybe turned this around, but it's TSM back at full force after that resurrect too.
And the respect given. Just to make sure. Again, they've lost 5.
I mean, God, just another dominant half from TSM. Like, these guys better close this map out.
At least what we're trying to do for the side of Envy. Going into dimensional drift, you're not getting.
These guys better close this map out.
You've already started 4 players plus that res over towards Boba, so you know it's weak side towards A. It really came down to that big fight against GMD. If he actually did get that kill, that's so much space taken away here.
Yeah, that was big from GMD.
And right there, look how GMD plays it. Sees him out of the dimensional drift, goes for the right click classic, sticks to his body too, so he goes as many bullets as possible into the chest with the right clicks onto Eggster. And this might potentially be...
Oh. Okay, yeah. Sure. Didn't expect all of Envy to be there, so Timotino learns that the hard way, and Envy get gifted.
Not another 9-3. Anything but another 9-3.
Because Vora has been MVP before, but the neural theft activated from Inspire Hunter's Fury. Envy had a lot left in their arsenal to end this first half. Still 3-9, but that's a position that TSM are familiar with, and we're not happy how it ended last time.
Yeah, and a position that Envy is also familiar with, and look how that ended too. So, but it did take some big rounds and some big hero plays this time around too for Envy. They fought for those rounds, it seems like, a lot more to try to get those 3 versus it did on Haven. But yeah, definitely a brawl and definitely a good fight. And like you, Lemon Kiwi, I don't think this map is over. I don't think we're going to see Abyss as quickly as expected.
Just with how exciting
yeah,
has been,
I mean, God, come on, TSM. You can't go up 9-3 in the first half twice and lose both. I'm nervous. I'm nervous for TSM. I shouldn't be. They should just easily close this out. 9-3 is a big lead.
Em dia de ter jogo contra time universitário, trouxe jogadores universitários que estão aqui também para torcer pelo Brasil, para dar esse salve pra gente. Então, mano, já queria saber primeiro de você, Henrique, como é que é jogar e conciliar com estudo e essa loucura toda, mano?
É muito animador, você ter um time para defender e conciliar o estudo com jogar, treinos, boas colocações e resultados é muito legal.
So I'm here with Henrico and Leonardo. They are university players for CAP, UFBC, you have ABC in Brazil. And I asked him, like, what is it like to study and play at the same time? And he's like, well, this is very good because we have the energy to get these good results and to defend our team from the university. E agora eu quero saber de você, mano. Vocês estão aqui porque você encontrou um cara da Winthrop na ranked e aí ele te deu um ingresso, é isso mesmo?
Ontem à noite a gente tava jogando uma ranqueada e eu tava difícil. Aí eu tenho um CAP no meu nome, né? Eu jogo com o nome aberto e ele reparou e perguntou o que era meu time. Eu falei que era time universitário também. E ele perguntou se era de São Paulo, eu falei que sim. Então ele falou, tenho 2 ingressos, bora lá assistir a gente. Então, pô, tamo aqui, né?
Tá aí, agora só não dá pra saber pra quem que tá torcendo. So he was playing ranked games with Glyph, and Glyph like gave him tickets to be here basically because he knew that he was also a university player just like Glyph, just like people from Winthrop, so that's why they are here. Torce pra nós, hein, pelo amor de Deus, se o cara te deu ingresso não.
That's cool.
Well, looks like sometimes you could just get some paid fans in there getting free tickets. What about me? All right, we got to take a trip, Vans. We're on our way.
I mean, we got front row tickets right now looking at this game. I'm down for it.
Yeah.
I'm down for it. We get to yap about it at the same time.
I'm cozy.
Yeah, I'm definitely cozy in my hoodie from home. But that said, though, with this action, it's gonna start heating up. I might slip in this hoodie right now because we know how Envy's good to turn things around, but not for someone with the first blood.
It's a big first blood. Took no damage somehow.
The 9-3 half. It just did not work out for Kane Zera there, but TSM still have to take.
Yeah, the Americas production has been good. Apex has been okay. China's was insane. The stage for the finals of Ascension was like as good as the tier 1 stages. And then we won't even talk about EMEA. We will not talk about EMEA.
Come back here and revive the NV name and signing this team. Remember him talking about it that, you know, they don't really have full funding. It's all through their own pockets right now to just get a team back and get some teams rolling. And they're making a name right now as Poppin spots a couple of players towards the elbow and decides to fall back and stalls a bit here with this smoke. But that stop and go is already gone and there's no real insert. So it might have to be a full re-clear as a group. But they're going to waste a lot of time for TSM to do this.
Yeah. I just try and race them. I like that they just stomped their way. They're gonna go through mid though, and Envy caught up. No smokes from TSM. Maybe paranoia. No, as soon as maybe GMT gets into a good spot, it's a 3K from Poppins. So Envy passed the IQ check. They got the spike down. And with a much needed pistol win potentially could help Envy make the comeback happen.
And that's the issue. They made way too much noise rotating back here onto middle. And for them to choose to go towards the middle instead of the A side is, again, because they don't, or B side rather, is because they don't have information, no inserts on that side. So they have to choose the shortest path as possible to try to beat their opponents to the race. But when they do that, they never left Alvin Boy behind to watch that flank. So Poppin's able to move back down, get an easy backstab onto 3 players because Alvin's trying to be the checkmate towards the end if they're able to get that plant towards B main. So just unfortunate calls here on the side of Vora and how they wanted to adapt into the scenario after getting stalled on the elbow. He overcooked on that round and now Exor's cooking with this Marshall.
Like the peekaboo plays from Envy, but this time just kind of mitigating how deep you really want to go for those big risky plays. And this time pays off and Exter.
Will I make analytical breakdown videos? I mean, I did that for like 5 years across Dota and Valorant. I might do it again, but currently it's not super interesting for me. I've made like hundreds and hundreds of those videos. But you never know. We might have another content creator arc at some point.
This right side of the map is just a brick wall. There is no getting through that.
Yeah, hard to do here with the one ways being thrown on that A side. Now at least you have rifles to work with for TSM, and They haven't really figured out
Okay.
what the position or how.
Let's see it, TSM.
So far, so it's gonna have to be potentially another one of those slower work for the team.
Let's see it, TSM.
Especially if you're not playing a Neon in the
First gun round, really important
not a Viper. It's very hard for
to
you
stop the
get
momentum.
an aggressive line on the top of A. You have to be probably strict on slow working your way off middle, set that paranoia line so that you can get some control towards the A main after the hit. And there's that mid control in the very beginning here for TSM.
Timo will be on the right side.
Oh, they used a bunch of util on this Yoru. I feel like that's kind of a mistake.
You know, sometimes they like these walkdowns. Now TSM just looking to kind of draw in Envy for a fight and not really getting it while keeping 7 as safe as possible. Maybe the orb to get a resurrect.
Is they already used the paranoia to take over.
They smoke off one side, but Eggster is just watching the cross, so the smoke doesn't really do anything at all.
To really work with, so you have to walk up to play contact, and they're a little bit spaced out.
Big shot. And they get 2 and the res. All right, time to speed up.
There we go. Or actually the kill. That's all it needed. And now again, TSM are back at full force.
They wait for their team, group up.
That forgiveness, and that's why you play 7 in this.
Nice pick by Eggster.
Before, but speaking of that, Eggster as accurate as ever. Now the spam through, a little bit of damage.
And they have to be a little careful of a Neon with a Bucky going crazy here.
But now they're really turtled up. GMD's watching the flank. No paranoia, nothing to really suppress Envy's retake, but rather keep them at bay with this wall, breaking it down using the clone.
Yep. Okay, good kills from GMD and Timotino. That got really scary when the Neon started going crazy.
When Envy is gonna group up together, despite them having not too much util, that they could still make it work. The slide through from Kane to open things up with the buck. You remember this is only their bonus round they did so much damage with against TSM. The unfortunate thing here for Kane is that he stunned himself right after moving into the site, so it was an easier kill for GMD to close in from the short side to help out his teammates so that they could capitalize on that round. But look how
that first Bucky shot is ridiculous. He had to have been low. There's no way that kills him from that far away otherwise.
10-5 scoreline for TSM. I mean, the buy still doesn't look like the best here for Envy because maybe a lot was invested previously, but at least Eggster has the operator to work with to look down towards that middle.
Yeah, Eggster's been doing a lot of opping, which is interesting. I thought Kane was their main opper. Oh, you're dead. Okay, nice trade. GMD gets another one. Eggster's out. Is Kane going in by himself? No, good discipline. Wait, he's going in. He's going in alone. Gets away with it.
Zera trips up. With that paranoia, Ion changes weapon and Eggster trying to create.
Damn, nice 1-2 peek from TSM. That's big.
Has been very good in finding his timings at least. When he knows that one's already outrunning and the wall was being set in a place that 7 has no choice but to play just under the jump up. Just moves in to sweep in the first kill while Vora's still stuck in the drone. Almost wins that fight versus Alvin Boy because he had an inkling there was somebody else trying to close around the other side. And those trips are perfect from Inspire. I mean, this continues to be such good defensive positionings from the side of Envy. So you needed these 2 heroes to come out for the side of TSM to really get that round. So 11-5, you hear the overdrive. A crunch for Envy down towards mid, and it's weighted by TSM.
Not gonna be
they read that one. They read that one pretty perfectly.
It should be a match point, especially with one of the best players on Envy falling this early. He's really put a lot of pressure on himself to kind of pull all the ideas out of the book. Catch the other off guard.
Good read. Just been a perfect read by TSM so far this round. Great teamwork. Okay. Boom. Match point. Or map point.
That's all that matters.
And TSM made sure that they flipped every single rock going back into that B side hit. So especially when you've given up so much of that map space in the very beginning, you were expecting some sort of a crunch with this neon play. You isolated and ignored the overdrive right away with this high-low stack. King couldn't do anything out of that. But look at these shots. And as soon as you're looking at the selfless plays, when you jump out of the smoke, it was just a 180 jump for Vora back into the smoke. So you could bait out a shot. The other two go for a double swing outside. Just the protocols that you have for TSM on scaling that anti-eco is quite nice. Now with the Hunter's Fury on the attack, they're trying to close it now for TSM.
Uh-oh. That Omen just TP too. Okay, GMD's not going to stick it. Gets information.
Okay, lots of holes. What's Alvin Boy's timing like? Oh.
Well,
Maybe a little bit too fast on the mid timing.
that means no alternative.
But they get the trade out on the Opper, so now that opens up a lot again. They haven't explored B at all, so Envy should feel pretty comfortable just kind of stacking middle and A.
Still a nice little push and pull from both ends, though. GMD pulls them back. Alvin Boy pulls them towards the middle, and then GMD could trade out towards the A side, so you give up a little bit of that A spot. But the recon kind of gives their position away that the are committed towards this A side.
He doesn't go down, though. Okay, they get him with the nade.
Swing, popping and checks him at the door. But man, both teams are trading blow for blow, and TSM know they have to go the extra mile. They got to extend out of the sun.
Okay.
No, the dodgeball game
Gets a tag. Agster comes out. Definitely winnable for Envy.
as impactful as ever. The TSM have the win conditions set, and maybe he may have just died. Team Motino not involved. Envy can extend their lives as best as they can. Now it's just 4 left. The 1 versus 3.
Oh! Wow. Okay. We go map 3. Let's go. Let's go. 1v3. Nice.
But once again with the Hunter's Fury dimensional drift, it almost looked like it was going to be an easy retake for Envy again.
Big 1, 2, 3.
The slant towards the generator perfectly. And now you're able to push this onto a third map. You asked me the question, Lemon Kiwi. Was I still confident in my pick? Indeed I am. This is definitely one of those games where TSM are able to turn it around. And I can't be more excited than to look forward to Abyss, a map that we haven't really seen come out from Envy yet. So I'm really looking forward to the comp they're going to bring out, or try to bring out, to try to beat TSM here.
Yeah, what are they going to play on Abyss? Are they going to play ISO? Are they going to play your Jet?
From before, very familiar with each other.
I'm curious.
But TSM knew they had to stay strong and they had to be perfect until the very end. 13-5. That is a statement. That is not only just a statement, but a response to one of North America's best. And we will be all deciding this on Abyss. So don't go anywhere, folks. We'll see you after the break.
Yeah, I mean, he wanted to use the recon just because they were 3v1. They wanted to just get him to turn around to shoot the dart, probably. And just scale up while he's shooting the dart, I guess. But it was nice shots by Vora, also pretty bad scaling by TSM.
Game changers. It's about competition, pure happiness. It's like a crazy experience. We're making history. It means so much to us. It's good to be back. I guess I know what I've been looking for 6 years.
The beauty of gaming is it doesn't matter who you are. As As long as I'm good enough, everybody's getting a 4K. I can go as far as I want.
That's what I like to see.
全世界都会知道我们的厉害。
What do I think of the speed that teams are playing at? Like in terms of how fast they're playing the rounds? I mean, I think most teams prefer to opt into playing the just like the fast and aggressive style because it keeps the game pretty simple. You don't have to think too much about like the tells that you're giving in the pre-round, because like if a lot of your rounds are fast and then you want to go fast, then you don't really have to disguise it with anything, you know. So I think some teams are playing faster than they should, and they're playing comps that are not necessarily built for it. And I think going into the next meta with the changes to recon utility, I think teams will probably go even faster just because you have like one cycle of utility. Until teams learn to default without recon, then we will probably just see teams playing super fast. Did I see Ospas Chinese team? I mean, that would be crazy. I don't know what team it would be. Maybe like Wolves? Does Wolves want to drop that much money on Ospas? Maybe. If Wolves gets Ospas, TMV is going to be insufferable.
Fantastic job overall. And of course, the individual and the clutch factor coming out here from some of the TSM players to round this all off was a huge success to that first half and this map as well.
Absolutely. It seems like after the grand finals between these two teams, and this being the only map that TSM lost in that grand final, there was an understanding that, you know, things had to change a little bit if they wanted to have a strong Sunset, and that's why they bring this competition. They go from playing the Timotino on the Neon to playing this Raze that was working a lot better, and also the Sage as well for the side of 7. So you see little things that not only in the composition improve, but also in the way that they wanted to approach this first half. It was a very good, well-controlled first half for the side of TSM2, where if Bora was going to have the operator, it was because Timotina was holding up close, ready for the showstopper. And so even if they were willing to give a little bit of mid control, it was just because they have a lot of resources as well to work with and to retake it to.
The rumors JDG is ready to offer him 6 digits. I mean, 6 digits is what these guys are already making. If it's 7 digits, then we're really talking. Then we're getting into some weird space. I mean, 6 digits is normal for top tier players.
And Roy for TSM, I mean, it was a team that we had highlighted so much coming into this, with players that can be having those pop-offs, and I love that looking at the performances, we got to see that, yeah, it's gonna be a Timotina that does really well. In the
JDG. JDG has Stu. And they didn't want to let go of Stu, as far as I know.
Yeah, and I think it's safe to say, guys, I think I speak for most of us when I say that there really are no slouches on the TSM side, at least, right? When it comes to individual performances, when it comes to stepping up.
So that'd be really interesting if that's where he goes.
Kind of put their hands on the table. I feel like that's huge for TSM. Obviously, Timotino and GMD have been playing phenomenally, even in the first map. And now we're moving on, and we have Bora, the IGL, actually going and kind of the MVP role. He not only has 3 first bloods, guys, but he clutched up multiple times. I'm gonna go ahead and just double check the statistics real quick, because I'm pretty sure it was an insane amount. I think it was like 2 or 3 clutches coming out from him. It was just overall pretty crazy from the IGL or the TSM side. He was calling pretty well on defense.
Oh, 6-digit monthly. Okay.
From him now at this point, and I feel like, yeah, just TSM.
I mean, if they're giving him 6-digit monthly, then yeah, I mean, go. Go, Aspas. Get that money. Get that money, kid. 6K per month would be fucking bananas, dude. That's a crazy salary.
Even in that third round where TSM is able to deny that bonus, it is because the round 1, round 2, not only was TSM and 7 specifically getting a bunch of kills, but they were all constantly playing around these orbs, making sure that that rest was going to be available. So in some of these rounds where you see Envy get the opening, immediately there's going to be a rest coming from 7. They make the numbers once again even.
Do I think Zekken goes to 100 Thieves Super Team? I definitely think there's a world where Cryo Zekken reunion happens. I think that's definitely possible, but Zekken is probably the most sought after North American player, I would imagine. And so he's going to be very expensive. And so I don't know how willing to spend 100 Thieves is. And I don't know whether they're going to be able to outbid Sentinels.
Right, because now I actually have the facts in my hand. Okay, you ready? So obviously, we saw that Envy had more first bloods than TSM did, and we're wondering, well, how the heck?
But I mean, Zekken can play. He can kind of play anything. But it would be kind of sick if he went back and joined Cryo. That would be a pretty solid 1-2 punch.
4 clutches going in the way of TSM versus 2 clutches going in favor of Envy. So yes, while Envy might have had the early round successes, they were not as good in the clutch factor as TSM was. They were the ones winning those situations out, and with the pistol round that they got in the second half as well, it seemed like it was all pretty nice and dandy for the TSM side.
And with that, now we get a map 3 in the series, and Abyss, something relatively unknown to both of these teams, Dan. So now heading into this, I'm so curious. We haven't only seen Envy once here in the history.
And part of it also is because we haven't seen this map of Abyss being played in Challengers. That was not a map that was available in Stage 2, for example. So these teams didn't even have the possibility of playing it. But yeah, in their history for Envy since last year, they only played it one time. And also for the side of TSM, last time that they played it in an official was also in Ascension last year with All Knights. So it's been really quite some time since we saw this map of Abyss. And I like this because now we don't know what's going to happen. Now it's actually completely unpredictable.
It truly is. All we've known is both of these teams want this win so bad to be #1 in North America in Ascension and to clinch that playoff spot. It's time to head to
Yeah, Zekken can play anything. I remember before he joined Sentinels, when I was coaching like Tier 3, Tier 2, NA, we played against him and he was just running it down on like Sova and Cypher and just like whatever, and he was insanely good. I think Zekken can genuinely play any role, and he'll be incredible.
We looking at a Joker here. What do you think, Vans?
I'm super looking forward to this one. Kane Zero, probably like his first or second time playing Waylay ever in an official, but at least the first time that we see it in Ascension, and even Challengers in itself, if I'm not mistaken. So it probably, for me, could be an ace for the sleeve here for Envy, because TSM are playing the vanilla comp, one that they've already brought out, even in their past Ascension run last year with a whole different roster. And this time, you're going to have to try to figure out how you can play against a double dive. That will be very difficult for somebody like
double dive, double smoke.
Remember, this is still the old patch, no new changes, so there's not too many angles for you to hide behind.
Double dive, double smoke.
Tough matchup now for TSM, and I was going to see something new, but hopefully the preparation comes through.
Now slipping by the defenses. Envy with that mid control. Might pop in a position to try and get information, and Bora just finds such a lucky shot. And then we go to follow up.
No way, shocked at him as he teleported. That's crazy work.
You got saturated like you really do. You're trying to stall as much as you can towards mid, but at least you get your pick, and you also made sure that you took control of Spike. Look
That's kind of amazing.
TSM now all over it. Sheriff in the hands of Timotino. There's no util left except for Inspire with the smokes, which, by the way, we don't really see Inspire play smokes too much, and they are playing a composition that is not playing a Cypher. So that is another ace here for Envy, and we got to know what Inspire can bring here to the plate as disaster for the team.
Kind of creating that chaos and Inspire.
Okay, that's problematic.
To recover that spike. 10 HP. The chase is on. And
Yeah, they're just not expecting one person to be left behind, which is kind of weird. You would think they would. Hello? Bro, what? What just happened at the end here? They just like completely ignored Heaven, and then Inspire just completely ignored the fact that somebody could peek him from Heaven.
Because just one smoke,
What?
one fight, and only Inspire walks in and still wins it against GMD.
Why didn't he at least take his gun out while he was walking backwards?
TSM, how they could really cover up that spike. And thankfully, Seven, who's been on point throughout this whole series, is able to win that
nice shot
against Inspire, who he also is usually quite good in the clutch. Another one of those great starts for TSM, as they always have a hot start in pistol rounds at the beginning of these maps.
Yeah, these pistols are really going TSM's way.
Losing that one person, or is it extra?
I think it's what? They've got like 4 out of 5 pistols so far.
To play their cleanest Valorant if they want to go up against the Kings of North America. Envy have swapped sides now to the B sites, and the camera's gonna watch this all happen. And Alvin Boy within safety could still get some information. All he knows is that the spike is down, and there's threats. And Envy haven't been able to really suppress as much just with pistols. This could be flawless for TSM to kind of build some momentum early, and there's a 2-man flank, and it's still ringing true.
Okay, really nicely handled. Flawless. Keep all their weapons.
And looking at TSM, they're doing a good job at least on understanding where they're playing soft, how they could really rotate. So right now, he's just making sure Alvin Boy doesn't leave him hanging. So puts up the highest heads up as possible, but you got to keep it in peripheral.
Alvin Boy is never aware of GMG trying to high-five him. It's funny.
So far back in the site, has a camera to watch us scale up, and all they need to do is to stall this front side so that the flankers could come in. And that probably is one of the game plans here for TSM, so they could play this flood retake against the team, because for the side of Envy, it's a lot of these dash in recall, play for shock darts, play for gravity wells in the post plant. So you have to make sure that you're winning on both extremities here for TSM when you're anchoring these soft sites.
Be at that early recon too. Just okay, well.
Big pick.
No heads up. Timo still re-challenges that. That's so crazy. How he gets away with literal murder.
Yeah,
and
that's
we can't punish.
Been the bread and butter for Tino and for TSM as well. Just disrespecting spams, util, finds his timing, dashes away, very Mata-like. And that's a huge player advantage to start in their bonus.
Now Envy definitely going to be desperate in this round, and even from the compositional changes.
All right. I mean, TSM again, starting fast. They have been doing such a good job getting off on the right foot on these maps.
We'll see how it ends here for Poppin and Inspire. Could try and isolate. Oh, the one tap.
Oh, Jesus.
Getting a little frustrated. Inspire.
Wow, okay. Almost got away from them there.
3-0 now for TSM.
Almost got away from them.
That's why sometimes if you're watching this game, there's a lot of question marks that will probably pop up in chat saying, huh, what the hell's happening? Why is everybody peeking one by one into these areas on the side of Envy just to try to take control of Tetris right over here? It's because you do have players like Poppin and even across the board could do these type of plays that could swing it back in your favor. And that allows for you, they have such good firepower that they go for hero plays that could cover up and gain some map control for your side as you're getting snuffed out and stuffed towards the A site.
Quick little pause, reevaluate what's going on.
Fortunately, it didn't work out. They still did some pretty decent damage, but that was a bonus round for TSM. And when that doesn't happen, when those hero plays and you're trying to find your own timings because you're still, aka the rankers here for these 5 players across the board, I think now this timeout for Stunner as the coach is to try to clean things up a little bit more on how they really want to execute towards the site. Be a little bit more as a group to play these contacts so you could actually go for the swings. I know
Timo's getting picked up in tier 1? Yeah, I think so.
But sometimes
I would say so. I mean, these guys may just all be in tier 1. They look good enough to potentially win this thing.
haven't showed an official.
I would say.
Cope was maybe they just played a lot in ranked, or they scrimmed a lot and they've prepped this very, especially for TSM. But something desynced, something is in the minds of Envy, and I don't think it's good. And I think this is a great time to have that coach come in, as you said, and to settle everybody down, iron out the kinks, and Envy with the usual kind of Sova recon really early with the owl drone. Ready to teleport deep into the site, take advantage of the timing. Wow! Vora just took King Zera to bed, and now the pings. Envy have to get into cover.
This trip is so silly, man. Just the vertical trip. Staying for next match? Probably not.
But now out of range, Cosmic Divide seals
Probably not.
more mileage out of this Bucky. If 7 crosses that threshold, but the Hunter's Fury kind of was awkward, and Envy could have had a real chance to get more value out of that Bucky. Now TSM, they start to break in the smoke, though. Could be fun for Ion, and he comes out of the smoke.
Very decisive from TSM. I'm loving what I'm seeing from TSM.
My question was, how do you adapt?
It would be really cool to see. The thing is, it wouldn't actually be the college. Like, it would be the college players, but the college is not going to beat a VCT. I don't think. I don't know how that would work. So, likely it's just going to be the players if they were to make it.
4-1, 5-1 slight hits, and when you're on your attack side. But look how they're playing the defense too. The weaknesses that you have is that you don't have too much util to stall on that side, so they use the spacing to their advantage. They understand the reach and the range that you get from the double dash of the Waylay, and he punishes him right inside that smoke, being Vora onto Kane Zera. And the flood retake was perfect too, to the T again. I don't know if you've noticed as well, Lemon Kiwi, the nerdy trap that was placed by Alvin Boy. It's a vertical line right at the top of default too, to try to stop and get a ping here, as if anybody's trying to dash through right at this spot over here. Unfortunately, no trips that time placed around, so you can't get the trip kill.
A deadly duel.
Okay. Pick off the lurk.
Gonna be a good duo going in, and usually they've just been at each other.
Okay.
TSM, first blood, able to even suppress even more with the Hunter's Fury and Kane Zera.
Ooh, he's owned. He's owned. Great flash from 7. Really nice retake from TSM. They are cooking them right now. They are cooking them right now.
It almost feels like, even though Envy never brought out this composition on Abyss, it feels like it's already been studied and read from the side of TSM somehow. They're just, once again, in the right spots, trying to get these picks. Even the stalls that you're trying to do here on the top of Heaven's side with the position for King Zero is just not enough. They're not playing as a group right now for Envy. They're not trading as a team, and that's been the most difficult thing for them to play into post plans when they're not really in these tradable spots.
And when you're not running an ISO, you don't have that wall that would maybe dissuade someone from buying an op. So see if the Waylay will still be the right choice. Double dash is quick to get the space. Now Timotino's up to no good. Do Envy fall for it again? He's like, I don't care if I'm pinged. Come at me, bro.
Oof.
Galore, man.
Got him.
The gymnasts are at it.
Not like this. Wait, 7 gets 2 somehow. What the hell? But this is going to be tough to win. They should be able to all get weapons too.
And they got the spike down. Bora could have some time here to get a recon in.
No, maybe not Ion.
This is why Inspire is on the Astra. Oh, Envy ahead of the game. But Vora has to know they're within the smoke. Does he just spam through it? How does he address this? Waits for it to expire.
I mean, that's silly. Good openers from Kane. Double Bucky.
The recall that breaks his crosshair placement as the lines are blurring probably his vision and his aim. But I gotta say, the entry from Kane, he was basically doing clay pigeon shooting. Goes for the pull, and Timotino's the ditch, and he gets popped in the air like that. Dude, the fact they're able to get 3 kills with the Bucky, the most value you can get with this type of buy.
On Abyss.
Incredible for the side of Envy.
4 kills with the Bucky, man. 4 kills with the Bucky.
Comes to show as well for Timotino. You can't disrespect the line that well until you go for an up drop like that.
I don't think Timotino respects anyone on the other side. Oh, I thought that was gonna be another one. Oh, now it's just
Dude, what? What is Timotino doing, man? He's just running it down. What the hell?
that side is impenetrable, but the op at least still there.
Yeah, and they were just trying to move.
I mean, it really does feel like Envy's game plan on this map is pretty one-dimensional. They're essentially just showing 5 at a place, or 4. They're 5-0 or 4-1 every round. And just hitting. And TSM is just collapsing to wherever Envy shows.
He could definitely get run down by that double dash by Kane Zero, and that could be that full counter to that play. Now you're going to try to potentially take control of Heaven here as Kane Zero is looking to utilize the dimensional drift to ult with.
Wow, they're just going to use 3 ults?
No way.
Oh. These ult rounds from Envy are nasty, but they use like 3 ults at a time. I guess this one was only 2. They didn't actually use Kane Zero's. How did he get his kill with the classic then? Yeah, how did he get that kill with the classic? I thought for sure that he used his ult and then dashed on somebody.
At least time should be on their side, and Inspire's like going exploring through the middle of the map, maybe leaving Egster all by himself. But he fends for himself. 7 trades, 2 versus 1, and 7's just out of time and out of luck, and will not be able to keep the rifle.
I need to know. I hope we have that on the replay, but how the hell did King get an entry on the top of A Heaven with a classic?
Yeah, I know. Show me the replay. Like, what? How did that happen?
With the Euro ult. But is it just
bruh.
Right-click classic right into the smoke on Vora? I mean, a little bit of a revenge from what happened in the past when Vora popped him inside the smoke at the at Ivy.
That's ridiculous.
Or over towards B site rather. But even then, another one of those lower crazy buys that comes out for the side of Envy, and it's almost could be the recipe to success. Maintain your speed.
Let Envy cook. They're on a 2-round win streak. The Hunter's Fury, man. God,
why is your gun not out, dude? Like, why are we switching to our knife?
Let's see what TSM can do, but they've been revealed over in the top window, and Poppin has so much in his arsenal to keep them stuck. They gotta expect he could climb up the rope, and TSM take their time to scout him
The
out.
counter spam is good.
The op is still a threat. There's angles, and Envy find themselves on an island with no raft, and it's a 1v1.
Oh, I don't know about that, Timotino. I think you gotta wait for Vora to do something. Okay, Envy. What, 3 in a row now, I think?
So that's what we're talking about. If you're going to start plowing with the double dive here for this side of Envy, that could be the recipe of success. They were getting stalled so many times towards this B site because of potentially Alvin's utility and how they're currently set up on the defense here for TSM. They're playing soft side on B, they're playing aggro on A lines, and once you're able to just open up that side with some early util to push your opponents away from those lines, it's just easy to come in right after. And if you're giving up that space on the A side and it's not Allenborg or somebody else, then you see how easily Envy could still take over that A site with the dive. So TSM are starting to respect that a bit.
I just can't count. Don't worry about me.
Oh, that's fast.
Kane Zero can shoot. Okay.
That's fast.
Round after round from this guy. Envy, though.
Timotino maybe sleeping a little bit.
Cosmic divide and not immediately absorbing all that space. Envy still have to take their duels. And now they've been met by the anchors of TSM, and Vora has been evicted.
No way he wins that. Uh-oh.
10 HP, and then Kane Sarah will be there to support, to be that frontliner.
I mean, TSM getting 6 is pretty good on defense on this map. But again, like you don't like seeing Envy building momentum. I feel like the more confident they get, the harder it is to beat them.
Making sure you just hit your shots. Because on the contact play, there's no way you can play Troll right after, where that X is on the top left of that mini map.
I mean, I guess that's pretty obvious.
There's a saturate that comes in. Then after the saturate, there's a Nova Pulse that comes in. There's no way they could really play a hard anchor on site unless you have good support for your team across the board. It looked like, at least from the X's, that they had some sort of a Bermuda Triangle trying to trade off each other, but there's just too much, and it's really hard to take down a Waylay on the recall. And TSM are continuing to get dove on and losing these rounds, and this comes a lot to the success since this timeout. You mentioned an early timeout being called out by Stunner in a pass for Envy, but it seems to bring in fruit now that they were able to capitalize since these couple of thrifty rounds they had over on that A site hit.
And to our knowledge, this is not a composition that Envy have a lot of experience in, but round after round, you're seeing those improvements of synchronization between the two duelists, and it's the bread and butter of usually running the ISO and the Yoru, and we were all wondering, how is this Waylay going to fit into this picture when it's such a different tempo than an ISO? It's obviously got a completely different arsenal, a lot more, I would say.
All right, MBS weighing in, refocusing the boys.
Envy's engagements on a lot of these maps, we even just saw it on Haven, to really having to change up their structure, and I'm already seeing KaneZera being able to support Exter a lot more, and usually it's kind of KaneZera and how they're helping him most of the time, but you know that Envy's got to pick up the slack for each other if they want to make it through to Ascension.
One thing that's good, at least for TSM so far, is how good they've been on the retakes. Although these rounds that they've lost, they haven't had a chance to go for full 5-man flood retakes on their end. They found good value playing soft site and just identifying where the Waylay pathing would be. And you could see from the openings for quite a few rounds since the timeout has always been towards these extremities and very fast paced from the side of Envy. And GMD has found some good successes towards flanks. I'd like to see potentially a little bit more of that pressure towards middle, maybe at the very beginning, and continue to play those soft sites so they could find some better value off these 5-man retakes on these sites. But instead, you're seeing here that Timotino's pulling out the op again, but holding it very, very passively. So it comes down to the high-low of both GMD.
Ooh,
that's to try to go for a play, and it gets denied.
It's an interesting play.
GMD has been able to get away with that a lot more on maps like Haven, for example, and he was such a huge playmaker for TSM, and look how much Envy have been able to adapt to that and take things a little
And
bit.
bring the op over to middle. They're rotating to A. Uh-oh. Seven's probably... Oh, okay. It's a good knife. Are they going to shift or no? Do they only scan? Do they only scan the Sova?
He's afraid of this dimensional drift coming through.
Looks like it.
Continue to find the position, and that the hit would be another 5-man hit. So another retake play attempt, but they're going to have one player at a disadvantage to move through, and the second time that you have KaneZera just saturating his teammate as they're trying to gain space.
Well, never mind what I said. You know, they're still working out the kinks, you know? So TSM, see if they can hold their lead, because they hold the high ground. I'll be pushing Timotino through that B link, and with the flash right through Exter, even through the pings.
Wow, what a retake. Wait, are they going to win this?
Mark on this site. Now the smoke's in place.
Ooh, maybe not. I got a sick half.
The corpse flies off. Poppin's going to make it easier for TSM.
Ooh, they didn't get half.
Poppin, doesn't matter if he hits this util or not, because it's a round win for Envy nonetheless.
Okay, big comeback from Envy. Is there any agent that I think needs to be used way more than it is being used currently? Yeah, I mean, I definitely think there's some underrated agents. I think Teo is probably underrated. I think Sage is probably underrated.
So there's no real trips that's going to watch flank.
I think Astra's probably underrated.
5 hitting with the rest of his team, so there's a lot of big gaps they could utilize here. And almost every single time you just saw on this minimap, they go for another pop flash peek towards main. They try to get the early control in that sense.
Ion's gonna go and get
Gecko's underrated? Yeah, probably. He's just hard to play.
But the duelists are in position. Guess what? They're behind the defense. That's how quickly Envy can take over a map.
Damn, what? Timotino is a beast, man.
That was a spike here
I feel like he's just always getting 2 and saving these rounds.
But he's gonna get ahead of the game. The timings. He's tagged up for goes for the free swing, but it's the bullet. Puncture through
Tags
the
him.
wall. Ion on a drive-by. Oh, his cover is gonna be revealed.
Oh,
too.
gets
They know
paranoid.
exactly where Ion is, and he's just gonna try and find a good timing on this
Nice
play.
teamwork. Okay. They close out the half with a win. 7-5. It should be good enough for TSM. It should be good enough. I just have to play discipline because Envy's going to be walking down mid a lot. They're just going to be walking it down, looking for timings.
Great spacing and pathing being done by Envy on the entry towards the A site, but Tino this time around is the one anchoring towards that B site. Just doing such a good job dancing around to fight that and help TSM win that 7th round.
And then the winner of this advances to playoffs, and TSM, after a disappointing run last year, they've made such incredible changes to their roster and just the structure. Overall, I think that's it's been the name of the game, is structure and consistency from TSM, because they've always been this wild card.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things, like it kind of happened with Neon too. Like we were guilty of this on GE, where the first Neon nerf happened, where like the stun took longer or whatever. It was like the first round of Neon nerfs, and we started going away from the Neon because we thought it wasn't that good. But it turns out that it still needed to be nerfed more, I guess. So I think it's the same thing with Teo. Is like he was so good that the shift from being like incredibly overpowered to just being a decent agent was like so drastic that everybody's like, oh, this agent's totally dead, he's terrible. But all you really have to do is just like look at what he does. He still has the same thing. The drone is still really good, the missiles are still really good, the stun is good, the ult is good, all of his abilities are good. They're just not as broken as they were. And you just have to be a little bit more conscious with how you're using his missiles. Like you can't just use them randomly.
During Ascension, it was always closer games. But now they come out with more grit, more fight, and more control on how they're approaching these maps. That you're starting to believe that TSM definitely does have a chance to move this into the playoffs against such a strong team, a strong powerhouse as Envy. That's been the talk of the town ever since they started in like split 3 of last year, before they started split 1 of this year to get picked up by Envy.
We've just kind of never seen Envy in an awkward position, like starting a lot of these maps at pretty big round.
Yeah, I mean, Chamber was nerfed pretty hard. Like, it's taken a couple of buffs to Chamber's teleport range to make him useful again. Because when they first changed him, he was pretty hard to play. Like, his teleport range was so small that it was like really hard to take any good angles.
Pistol for TSM on attack. One anchor, and it's Ion. And like you said, when you don't run that Sentinel, who can stop them? Well, no.
Nice contact play. They catch Ion sleeping. Ion's having a tough series, man.
Contact up on over to the B site. Now
he's had 2 pretty bad maps.
King Zero might get an opener here.
He had a nice comeback on Haven, but he started off really rough, and he started off rough here again.
There's so many people further back in Inspire.
The second flank.
Still ends up locking in when it matters.
Big kill from Vora. Big kill from 7. All right, pistol should be secured. There it is. Being able to use back-to-back missile in your post plan is better. Yeah, it is.
You gotta give credit to 7 right here that you see on the screen. Not only because he's able to breathe so well with the band-aid on his nose, but the guns that he uses in this game. He's actually playing Valorant. Pistol rounds his frenzies on ecos, stingers, when big buys, Odins. And it's so accurate in these close-range, mid-range battles for these type of weapons. That he's definitely a player that is hard to play against when you're playing these type of high-octane matches. pressure on the line. TSM getting another pistol round, an important one here. And that's what I was trying to mention too. All these losses that they had on Abyss last year in Ascension and are able to do this against Envy right now shows a revital.
Yeah, I think the frenzy is insanely good
this year.
Spire not gonna keep dwelling within the smoke. Now it expires the drone. He's gonna tag him, and on their way is Timotino, and surprised he didn't get the kill on
I think having one frenzy at least on pistols is like mandatory. I like the buys that TSM has on their pistols. They're doing like a sheriff, a frenzy, a ghost, 2 people with classics, full utility. I think that's like a really good way to buy on pistols. Because then you've got like your close range weapon, you've got your like insta kill weapon, you've got your mid range weapon, and then you've got people that have a lot of utility with the classics, and also obviously can help fight at close range. And then you just let the ghost, and the sheriff take first contact, or if you're running it down, maybe you send the frenzy in too. But then once you get into post plant, you've got a frenzy and you've got 2 classics up close. It's very hard to get through that, and you have utility to help.
So they just play back, making sure that they at least take the round in their favor and leverage this man right here on these entries, who's been so good on the Ascension so far, dropping around 60 kills on his debut stage, and so many aggressive entries that he's able to perform and open up for TSM. And with the reason why he's also on the top of the scoreboard right now for the attack side of this team.
It's important for your ace to be comfortable on that stage, to be confident, and Timotino, I think, throughout the series has been double positive in KD, so always rely on him, and Envy gonna help supply Ion with some help, and Kane Zera.
Damn, Timotino has some of the craziest stats I've seen in a long time.
TSM as they're waiting to see.
He looks crazy good.
Just playing basically the energy stack as tight as possible towards that ledge.
Yeah, I mean, I think depending on the map and depending on what your pistol strat is, you can definitely mix stuff up. But just as a general baseline, I think having a buy kind of like that makes a lot of sense.
TSM really needed him for this entry, especially with the smoke in their way, so TSM will just have to be satisfied with grabbing the orb and leaving, because they've already done some clearance around the other side of the map, especially those early flashes from 7, just to try and sell a fake at A. Now rotating over, Alvin Boy will watch their back, and TSM think about A this time, and Envy are there to match them. 3 versus 3 on the site. Bora with a deep recon. And
Alvin Boy on the lurk could find a timing here, potentially.
You know there's a threat on the right. Not up close.
Oh, they're going a little too early, I think. Yeah, if they just delayed, I mean, they couldn't really delay too long, but Alvin Boy was in a pretty good spot positionally.
And Envy get to bring a lot of rifles into the next round.
You see how important it is for TSM to keep Timotino alive and these site hits for the space that he create. Because as soon as you go for the drone into the A site, nobody can really follow up behind it. 7 walks in alone and hoping to get a pick as Vora is doing his best to try to get a ping out. And as you said, Northodox miss by Timotino, losing that fight really neuters him to be able to get any value of the late hit into the A site for a plant. Although remember, they had the bonus round previously. They converted the one in the first half, but not this one here. They still have a bye moving into this 4th round of the second half.
Fire is a big risk.
Team, hello,
just as the orb was grabbed. Yeah, TSM a bit asleep at the wheel. Usually Timotino would be all over that, like butter on toast, and you can still make do. Top window through the wall.
I don't really like what I'm seeing from TSM right now. I think MBS needs to call a timeout. Too many individual random 1v1s going on.
Oh, Poppin knows there's an unwelcomed guest in their household. Just happy to greet Alvin Boy once he rings the bell. TSM wait for the smoke.
Like, they're finding so much space. They're finding so much space. If they don't give away early picks and take too many 1v1s, they can definitely exploit what Envy's doing on defense. Like, they're all over the place. on the
That's
map.
thing, because they know where the two players are at over on the A side, and there's only a soft hold on B. And Iron just got opened up, and that's a hold, a knife out for a plant.
Yep.
Bro's gonna get it for the team. Recon will be available, has full kit to play an open post plan while GMD cuts to rotates. If they're able to turn this around here to 3v5, they'll be quite happy here for TSM.
Yeah, Poppin versus Vora, true main. That is going to be the duel to worry about. Already some pressure here from Poppin. Drone versus Recon. And then GMD.
Big round from GMD. 16 HP, tagged.
16 HP, like another day at the office.
Oh my god, he caught him. Oh no.
TSM had everything to win that 2v2.
Yep.
And unfortunately, GMD thought that he found a timing to move around the
That's
back of the
tough.
instead of trying to hold the angle with the spikes planet for you.
That's tough.
When he could walk into his crosshair, but he was afraid because of his positions given away after that duel against Inspire of the rotate back. But that was such a nice attempt. Remember, a 3v5. I was expecting for all three players to save already to move into the next round, because 7 could still buy. You could get close to the Blade Storm already on Timotino, and then you still have the null command to work with. But Poppin comes up huge, and yes, calls out the big bang after he picks up that 4K. But here is probably a big
Opinion on new gun spread change? I don't mind. I think it's fine.
Quickly for a B plant.
Even Envy have good options, and
I mean, Texture's played on an international roster before. He can speak English. It might not be great, but he can speak English, so I would say he could potentially go anywhere. Wow, what a round from Ion.
what is this? Beheads all of TSM within the realms of safety. That work was it for nothing.
How often is this guy gonna get blades, man?
Not over yet. Timo.
Okay.
At least with the ult. Inspire has to still save this. Ion is gonna be so pissed if this doesn't work out. There's injuries.
20 HP. And he goes into astral form. Timotino. What a demon, man.
Definitely. I think that's one of the rare moments where Inspire fumbles. Who's
What a demon.
In these scenarios. I thought that he made a step 2 that Alvin Boy heard it and that he could just watch it easily, but that was an easy first kill. But you have to look at how Timotino played that to anchor up the site for the team. Despite the 3K coming out from Iron, look at how he plays it over here. He floats up in the air just to break the crosshair placement of King Zero with the op, and then just goes for the Blade Storm, daggers to the chest, and wins that round for the team with the clutch. And that not only stalls the 3K from Ions, but the 4K clutch out from Timotino, out from Pop in the previous round. And TSM are looking primed now to try to close out this map. Hunter's Fury at the ready. It does get the ping, and he's trying to take Iron out.
How is Ion supposed to hold this site by himself? Of course he has to play further back. I mean, he got absolutely rolled on his first encounter on TSM's pistol. But now he's in the corner.
Damn, Timotino. Again. Thinks about going for more. A little bit of discipline. Okay, the wall, the fast retake. Holy shit, Alvin Boy. 2v1. Can he redeem himself? Looking the wrong way. All right, TSM. Does that break their econ too?
That is so smart here from Alvin Boy. So while Eggster is trying to find information towards that site, those two players that he spots are actually calling, he's on me. So Alvin Boy just watches that line for everybody flooding back behind Eggster's ult. Easy picks. Look at that.
Oh, that second shot is crazy.
So insane.
That second shot is nuts.
How clean that was. It turns out to be a nice cleanup towards the end for TSM with the... Looks like it was a force buy coming through here for Envy. I only saw Eggster with a Bucky, but now they have nothing to work with within this round. TSM now, almost definitely looking at even series point this round.
And a bunch of sheriffs too.
Good coverage. I mean, every time that Envy tries to do something aggressive where one of their players gets overextended trying to get a kill, it feels like TSM always has somebody backing them up. I really like that. It's like nobody's ever alone.
This is such a good call by Vora. He calls for the fake. Pulls out all his util towards the A site, cuts the rotate. Alvin Boy kills another one. The B site's open. And TSM, they have
Perfect round from TSM. Absolutely perfect round.
But he'll just look at the B link. No high ground presence. They're happy with the smoke. And Boris chilling. He's winning every duel. Okay, thanks for winning the round for TSM. Match point up soon.
Let's go, TSM.
With the Guardian. Hoping to do as much damage as possible at this point. Screw it. Okay.
Honestly, it feels like this could have been a 3-0. Could have been a 3-0.
There was no way he was going to win that one. Okay, there's still at least other fans outside of the 3 TSM fans in the crowd.
A bit of a choke on map 1.
I don't think they were able to get all free tickets. Right?
But 3 maps in a row where they've been dominating.
How many tickets does Glyph have? I'm just wondering.
But if anything, man, TSM are looking like a different beast on this map. There's a lot less overheating from the type of playstyle that TSM had in the past, and they're looking like they're really playing off each other quite well. Now Envy really has to dig down deep into everything. They already called the timeouts. I don't think they have anything left, right? Which is why nothing's coming through. NBS, he's sticking to the plan that's tried and true, and Timo almost got that pick there onto Inspire.
Oh, just the disrespect.
Dude, this kid is nasty. This kid is nasty.
3 of Envy get pulled to that right side as a response to that knife and the early aggression, and TSM follow the lead of Alvin Boy. If you not follow him down mid, though, I don't know about all that, but hey, you could really get a backstab going on Envy. They don't watch out.
Yeah, well, they already forced out the TP from Ion all the way towards the A site, so once again, a nice little pivot being called by Vora, thinking that we're weak side on B. Alvin Boy once again a responsibility to cut the rotates. He's gonna hear this on the spawn.
Yeah, I mean, Envy's got they've got very talented players. They've got good aim, but their team play is not hitting currently. And I think they're a little bit in like that Paper X space, like Paper X from like 2 years ago, where it was just all individual stuff and just like momentum and like steamrolling teams. And once teams figured out that like just don't be afraid of them and just like play together, they really started to kind of get beat, right? And it took Paper X kind of reinventing themselves a little bit. Holy shit, what a clutch.
Oh my god. What a retake and hero play from those players of Envy's side. What was that, a 2 versus 4?
But yeah, basically, like, I feel like Envy needs to evolve into that next level where they have, like, cleaner stuff together. They have better teamwork, and they have the ability to, like, not just send it all the time.
That they just kind of fell through in terms of how they wanted to communicate with each other to play that post plant. GMD again caught out in the open, trying to find a different place to play from. And he could have been the winning condition there if he stayed towards the back of Troll. That gives a fighting chance here for Envy, and we know that Envy, even from witnessing the first map, that they have what it takes to bring the comeback to push this into OT. And if we go into OT, this is TSM's Abyss at Ascension repeating itself again.
2 last rounds from Envy.
Open pick. Just spams. Ooh, that's big. Astral Wall gone. Retake is way weaker.
When TSM are on match point, series point.
Forgot about the old Paper X. Yeah, I feel like they're kind of. Ooh, they're just walking. Man, Kane is having a bad map. 9 and 19. That's it. It's over. It's over. Let's go. Let's fucking go. Dude, Timotino's a fucking animal.
On the last map against Envy, turning around their story from Ascension of last year. Again, going 0-4 in groups, but this time 2-0 in 2025.
That was great.
To make sure they at least reach the playoffs. They only need 2 more wins to try to make it and ascend to the VCTs. While for Envy, they will have tomorrow still to try to qualify.
GG's.
And Lemon Kiwi, I'd be scared.
7 with 32 assists. Yeah, I mean, they play very well together.
The resilience of TSM to have that map one end.
Timotino plus 24.
That comeback from NV was history for the
Let's go. Good shit, MBS. Good shit, TSM. All right, I'm going to take off. I'm going to go do some stuff. But I will be back tomorrow morning to watch the VOD of Nongshim versus Velocity. So thanks for watching. We'll see you guys later.